The Dreams of Ghosts and Indians, a novel by Preston Jacobs, available in paperback and ebook. So, welcome. I am here with Trey the Explainer, and we are going to watch Doorways. Both Trey and I have seen it before, but this is the infamous pilot that nearly killed a Game of Thrones. And I don't mean Game of Thrones the show, as in like, had things gone differently, George R.R. Martin himself kind of says that this show, which was very close to being picked up, would have prevented him from finishing a Game of Thrones. And there would be no A Game of Thrones. There'd be no A Song of Ice and Fire. There'd be no Game of Thrones. There'd be no House of the Dragon, all of these things. Like, he wouldn't be the American Tolkien. He wouldn't have $1 billion, like all this shit. And it's amazing, this pilot, and everything about it, because so much time, so much effort has been put into this thing, and it's a real stinker. It is. In fact, I think I'm going to be having a glass of wine, because it's something.
It really is something. And when you say that it almost killed Game of Thrones, you're like, that's not hyperbole. That's literally like it. He was working on this, and then if it hadn't been canceled, George would never have finished Game of Thrones. Like,
that's right.
The book.
So, I mean, the history of George's life is essentially, he was a short story writer through the 70s, and he won a bunch of freaking awards. And he in the late 70s and the beginning of the early 80s, and so he was hot shit. In the sci-fi fantasy writing world. And so he decided to then switch to novels. And so he started with Dying of the Light, and then they got bigger. He did Fever Dream, and then he wrote a novel called The Armageddon Rag, which bombed. And so at that point, he didn't really know what to do. So he'd gone to Hollywood, and they'd offered him a job, and he got a job writing on The Twilight Zone. And then he got to run a show called Beauty and the Beast. And that ran 3 seasons until 1990. And he was still writing pilots and working on pilots. And keep in mind that, like, you can have a full-time job in Hollywood where nothing gets put on TV. Like, he was writing pilots and pitching pilots and reworking scripts for people and things like this. And this was like his life. And he got paid for that, even if they never got produced? He said he was paid handsomely, but for it. Handsomely. Nice. I mean, keep in mind, he had very low standards on what was a lot of money when he was doing his short story writing. He got like $60 for sci-fi short stories. So he in his mind, he was still a Hollywood guy, and he was in between gigs. And that's when he started on his novel Avalon, which was going to be in the Thousand Worlds. And he didn't get that far on Avalon, and he got distracted by a little book called A Game of Thrones. And he wrote the first 13 chapters of A Game of Thrones in 1991. And then he got this people being like, "Hey, we want you to go pitch one of your stories in Hollywood. But come with a backup pitch too." And so he gets on a plane wanting to pitch The Skin Trade, which is his werewolf story. And they're like, "But come with a backup." And he's like, "Okay, my backup." And he's on the plane. And he's like, "I don't know. The Lonely Song of Lauren Dore," which is a short story about a girl who hops dimensions, but it's very short. It's not very about hopping dimensions very much. It's just, anyway, he gets into the room at NBC and ABC, and they say to him, they don't like this. They don't like the skin trade thing. They're not into it. But ABC was like, "I love this idea for this show Doors that you're talking about Lauren Dore and hopping through doors, right? Okay, great, door."
In my brain, I'm imagining if he brought Pear-Shaped Man or something like that as a backup. Like, we love Pear-Shaped Man. We're gonna produce it.
So he literally spent the next 2 fucking years
That's
on this
insane to me.
pilot, and like the amount of time that people put into failed shows for Hollywood, it
That's crazy.
amazes me. It just
Yeah.
amazes me. But he essentially was like working a script, reworking a script. There were delays. They then filmed 92 comes and they film the pilot, and they tell him like, this pilot is great. We're probably gonna do a mid-season pickup. So go and write like 6 backup scripts for the rest of the season. So it's like they're working on the backup scripts. They have half a season of work here, and he's all pumped and ready to go. And then come 1993, they say to him, actually, as it turns out, we only have enough room in the ABC lineup for one sci-fi fantasy show, and that sci-fi fantasy show is Lois and Clark. So sorry, dude, that's the Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher, or Terry Garr. Wait, Terry Hatcher, Terry, it's a Terry. the Terry Hatcher. That's the Terry Hatcher show, and the one she did before Desperate Housewives. And they were like, sorry, dude. And so he went home in 1993. And then he picked up a Game of Thrones again. And that's after this failure is immediately he writes that outline, that famous outline that we have in 93. And he gets back to work. And that's that. Now, the name of this show was changed to Doorways because Oliver Stone had a Doors movie coming out around the same time. But so Doorways. So this is it. It eventually, he said it aired once at like 3 a.m, but he's not sure. And then it was showed on Amazon Prime, where Trey and I first saw it. Was that a full? Was that a year ago? A little over
maybe a full year ago. Yeah, we've been talking about doing this review or whatever.
Yeah, I know. I was
for a year
at my in-laws for Christmas, so and I watched.
That's crazy.
But here it is, Doorways. There's some parts of it that are just so fucking George R.R. Martin, but at the same time, there's so many parts I'm just like, what was he thinking? But let's get going here. Let's see here. Okay.
Perhaps this is not the only world. Perhaps for every world where the coin came up heads, there exists another where it came up tails. A world where Hitler won the Second World War. A world where an Indian Columbus discovered Europe in 3 tiny sailing ships.
Hey.
A world where John Kennedy...
Ghosts and Indians, man, I know.
George R. Martin predicted it.
He predicted Ghosts and Indians.
Was this an influence on you, Preston? Did you watch?
Well, obviously, I know the beginning of A Dream of Ghosts and Indians was many years before I saw Doorways. I mean, Doorways precedes obviously The Dreams of Ghosts and Indians by a lot, but I had no idea this. I hadn't seen it, But.
We could probably count the number of people that have seen Doorways on our hands. Like I don't think there's too many people.
Like even after I told people about it. So this beginning monologue, like I can tell it's so George R. R. Martin, but then he pulls his whole subverting expectations with a letdown kind of thing, and I don't think it works. So he goes, what if Hitler won World War II? What if an Indian Columbus came to America, to Europe, right? Those are 2 really fucking good ideas. Like that would be those would be 2 great shows. In fact, I think there was one called Man in the High Castle, right? But then
Kennedy assassinated President Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's if Kennedy assassinated
a world
President.
Where Elvis is still singing and Marilyn lived on to win a dozen Oscars.
So that's where he starts like going down, like Elvis is still singing and Maryland won a dozen Oscars. Like at this point, it's 1993. Elvis died in 1977. Is the audience sitting there going, yeah, a world where Elvis never died. Like, Is that interesting?
And it's a weird way to do it. You should do the opposite, right? You should do it
right.
small changes and then go up to the really
escalate
big one.
it, right?
Yeah.
And then he goes even goes even lower stakes next.
A world where the dinosaurs still rule the earth. A world where magic works and physics won't.
Very George R.R.
A world where the Dodgers never left Brooklyn. Worlds upon worlds.
Right? Like you're going up and then you're down and then like something huge, dinosaurs never fucking
Super Mario movie right there. That's,
right. And then so I fucking like I hate New York centric like entertainment like so much because they think that the rest of the world lives in New York. Like when they start talking about like boroughs of New York and stuff, I was like, dude, the rest of the world doesn't fucking live in New York. Like, I get it. Like a world where the Dodgers never left Brooklyn. When did the fucking Dodgers leave Brooklyn? like who fucking cares about that? I mean, he's not even he's from New Jersey. He's not even from that side.
That's very George R. Martin. This is a George R. Martin thing, is that like he assumes things that are important to him are important to everybody else, because this is Armageddon Rag kind of thing, like where he just assumes that people know these bands that he's a fan of or something. It's
right, the Armageddon Rag. 1957 is when right, and this is coming out like at this point.
How many people care?
45 years later, like the audience is sitting there going, oh my God, this world where the Dodgers never left Brooklyn. Like
universe upon universe, lying as near to each other as pages in a book, yet each different, each telling its own story, an infinite number of worlds, all dimly dreaming of one another.
So George.
And between them,
dimly dreaming of one another.
Perhaps there are
right? Fucking
doorways.
I also like that little bit where, oh my gosh, this music. I like that little bit where, because they have like the stories that like they cannot, that they probably will never adapt, right? Like that, like dinosaurs, like it's too expensive to pick that, but it's real easy to pick Elvis surviving or something like that. Or
yeah, he actually did a Twilight Zone about Elvis, so he knew a lot about Elvis. The thing is, so it's 93 and it feels like this is a pilot from like 1984.
Yeah.
Like
oh, this lady. Oh boy.
Like the music and the, because it's not like Buffy the Vampire Slayer isn't on the air, and that's on like UPN. Like this is supposed to be on ABC.
That's crazy. That's crazy that Buffy's airing at the same time as this. That is crazy, because you're right that this feels so dated, even for the time period that's supposed to be in.
It's like there's nothing, because this is just like, well, that was one good scene of like a person, but it was just like her face and then traffic, her face then traffic, and I'm like, there's no, this is okay. How they got these? There's the fucking budget. Oh, there's your whole fucking budget right there.
We have a guest.
There's the hell. We have a guest.
I saw his profile picture.
Oh. Carmine, you there?
That. I was getting some medicine and took a while.
Oh, you sound sick, Carmine.
Yeah,
just a tad under the weather. What I missed? Am I
worse?
Am I too late? What I missed?
No. We just started. We talked about the history of things before we went into it a bit, and then now Now we're about 3 minutes into it.
Wait a minute, you're gonna watch the whole fucking thing, Preston?
Well, we're gonna see how far we get, man. It's like fine. It's fine. It's amazing that like they spent the money to blow up a fucking oil tanker or whatever, and it still feels like the lowest budget piece of shit I could watch. Like,
you know why? It's because like I don't know about you, but I love Paul Verhoeven films, RoboCop, Total Recall. Like he ruled the '90s and late '80s, and it kind of looks like a Paul Verhoeven film.
You're kind of right, but that's the thing is it feels like an '80s movie.
Practice and your own dog.
Yeah.
For my next trick, I make you disappear. He's gonna be fine.
So this is our
I didn't know you could do magic.
Protagonist.
Really?
His best trick was making money disappear.
I mean,
When I misbehaved, he threatened to turn me into a frog. So I learned magic in self-defense in case I had to change myself back.
All right.
Oh, what do you got? Had a drink.
I think it's probably a pretty smart move to make the protagonist a doctor, so he'd be like very useful, and no matter what universe he's in, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe some internal.
He's fine. I think he's likable enough. My problem generally, though, is that she's not charismatic or hot enough for me to believe that he'd be like obsessed with her.
Oh, pause that for a minute. Pause that on him for a minute. So you know what my problem is with this guy? He's the worst main character I think I've ever seen in a TV show. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Because so eons ago, you famously said Jon Snow is the bathroom sign because every man can see himself in Jon Snow. After watching Doorways today, I kind of disagree with that, and I'll tell you why. This guy here is supposed to be like the bathroom sign. Every man can see himself in it. Right. He's kind of the Diet Coke version of Paul Rudd, except not funny. And I kind of came to the
he reminds me of the guy. Have you ever seen Herman's Head? He reminds me of the guy from Herman's Head.
Well, the problem with the conclusion I came to is that I disagree with you that every man should see himself in Jon Snow. Every man should probably see himself as Paul Rudd and Ant-Man. Because every man, I'm sure both of you and the audience will agree with this, every man probably sees himself as more charismatic and funny than he actually is.
I would never call my kid Jelly Bean. I don't think, like, I would never do that.
And this guy here he's not funny, he's not charismatic, he's just nerd, mild-mannered guy. And I don't know. I can't see myself as him. I don't know. You don't think the actress is hot?
Look, she's hot. The problem is that she doesn't just have to be hot. She's hot. Don't get me wrong. She's like real world, incredibly beautiful. But like in the show, she has to be so hot that he is willing to go up against cops and leave his fiance and like make his fiance ask a lot of weird questions. And his fiance is Trinity, who's pretty hot.
That's true. That's a good point.
Well, let's get this off of her.
Yeah.
Hey! Grab her! You're under arrest. You have the right to remain silent.
This is the most unrealistic part.
She's psycho.
She bit off a dude's nose, and they're not like just filling her with blood.
Clean off. She bit off his nose. That's crazy.
I wouldn't get any closer.
Right? Like, why is he getting in between a cop and a woman who just fucking bit off somebody's nose?
That's
like, there's
crazy.
no.
I forgot about the fucking nose stuff. Yeah, why would you want to befriend somebody like this? You'd be like, that is a crazy person.
Play the nose getting bit off like it's some sort of like light laugh. Like it's a bad haircut or something. Like, this guy is going to have permanent scars. Like, he is mutilated on his face for the rest of his life. Like, you can stitch that nose back on, but he's still going to have this like massive scar around his nose the rest of his life. She just mutilated a guy. And for some reason, nobody filled her with
doing his job.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't even like a bad cop we're talking about. Like,
no.
Like where we had a scene with him and he's an asshole.
Okay, put that down. All right? But I got it. I'm gonna just
Like, you just assume as a doctor,
sponge.
and because the hospitals are filled with so many
Right, see?
drug addicts and drug overdose people, he would just assume that this woman's on like PCP, and he'd be like, just restrain her.
Do this.
I'm sorry, she kind of looks. Pause it right there on her.
Uh huh.
She kind of looks like an extra in Mad Max. Like, I just can't get over. Like, just
Well, I
the,
think
like,
she's supposed
She
to.
looks like one of the children, the feral
yeah.
kids.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
Like she's either the silent wolf boy from the Road Warrior, or she's from the children colony in Beyond Thunderdome.
It's John and Brent all over again. Wild girl with mild manner guy. It's
I was thinking like Asha Arya kind of thing, like like feral tomboy kind of thing.
She just bit off somebody's nose, and he's just like, let me get your wound on your. Forget that person who needs to have their nose reattached and is bleeding profusely on the floor. Let me get your slight cut near your eye. Let me get that. Like, how did George not think this was dumb?
How did people filming this not be like, like that's a.
You know how?
Dumb,
you know how? Because George got to pay his rent, buddy. So a book that might not go nowhere. In hindsight, we think so, but shows pay more.
We're gonna need an X-ray. Will you come with me?
We'll take her from here.
Now tackle her.
Yeah.
I'm admitting
The cops did not have her walk
We'll
delicately
observe her
out.
down in lockup.
Do you want the responsibility of removing her against medical advice?
How there's a guy bleeding on the ground without a nose.
From a human bite, which is pretty gnarly, right? You can get infected from a human bite.
I told you to put that damn thing away.
Nearly gets himself shot.
Yeah, now you're arrested. That's crazy. Yeah, because you're right. She's not charismatic and not hot enough to warrant this behavior. Like, this is a crazy person.
She's like, I found it. And the other guy's just like, oh. Like,
Could you let me in, please?
I got orders. No one sees a prisoner.
Prison.
Around here we call them patients. I'd like to see your stitches.
5 minutes. Watch your nose.
The police don't want you going anywhere right now. So you're not happy about that. I'm Dr. Mason. Thomas. The office wants to know if you have any medical insurance. A name? A name would be good. Look, I know you're in trouble. They told me all about this freeway thing. Maybe I can help you. Maybe is there someone I can call for you? A friend? A lawyer?
he has no like fear of his own life. Like they were like, okay, she ran out into the highway. She nearly killed like a bunch of people on the highway. But she shot an oil tanker that exploded. Luckily, the driver was not burned to death. Then she came to the hospital and she bit off somebody's nose. And then she just tried to attack you with a chair. And he's just like, I need to help you. I need to help you.
Look, that's not going to work. This is a modern hospital. The windows don't open. No. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're going to hurt yourself.
That Full House Danny haircut he's got. Holy shit.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
afraid
The
of.
90s.
He's got like a roller hockey team that he's going to join afterwards.
This would be a lot easier if you just talk to me.
See, if he were single, maybe. Like if we would have established that like he didn't have a fiance, and that he like hadn't gotten laid in like a couple years, maybe I'd be like, okay, maybe.
Yeah. He needs to be a loser. You're right. He needs to be a loser, and he's married, right? It's his fiance, or he's married.
I think it's fiance. I think he's
Fiance.
engaged.
His
to
fiance's Trinity, and you're like, why?
Thomas.
Why?
Thomas Mason.
Yeah. He needs to be like a pathetic.
Where's you from, Cat? Where do you live?
desperate.
That clarifies things.
Not here. There. Door.
Oh.
Leaving now, Thomas. Getting out.
Cat, I'm sorry, this door only opens for me right now.
Do you think the strange foreign accent was a good move?
Because she's French or something. This actress.
Yes, she's French. It helps sell that she's from another world because she kind of.
She's from another planet because French people.
But I think the people that come after her all have American accents.
Yeah. Well, okay. George R. Martin likes the name Cat. Is there like a woman in his life that is kind of Cat or something like that? Why is this a repeated thing for him?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah, look how rich he is. Look at his freaking house he has in LA.
He's a doctor.
Okay.
In the 90s. That's.
There she is, Trinity.
Oh, God, it's so...
Trinity in her minor role.
I think
when was Matrix?
She has a good career too, right?
Jump in the shower. Put on your shyster hat. I need help.
Yeah, she's like a lawyer.
When was Matrix? Oh, so this is a good 6 years before Matrix.
Did she really bite his nose off?
Just the end bit.
That's something. If you bite off the whole nose, they really throw the book at you.
Do you think you could look into it for me?
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. It sounds like a psychiatric evaluation would help.
I'll owe you one.
Thank you.
Trinity's looking really hot in this. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's amazing. Oh my god.
Kinda cute. Very cute. Obscenely cute.
Right? Like,
why?
Like I'm supposed
why
to
would he
believe
care?
that he's...
May I remind you the penalty for perjury?
What is that?
Yeah, look, she's like hot. Damn.
Good
In the
sense of humor.
DVD commentary, George says how he wrote that scene longer where they fuck, but they removed it for TV.
Really?
Are you for real?
No, I'm making a joke because that's totally George. He totally would have done that.
Oh,
All right,
God,
Jared Leto has arrived or something.
These guys suck.
So in the comic adaptation, they're like monsters and stuff, like with prosthetics, but like I think they just didn't have the budget, so they just made them humans. Oh, LA with that smog.
That
Oh.
ugly building. Yeah, this is not how a hospital treats a crazy person, by the way. This is as somebody that has gone through hospital stuff. Do not treat you like this. You do not have this much freedom.
Wait, she just left?
I guess she just left.
No, the government got her. That's
Oh.
Yeah.
Look, somebody removed her. She didn't just get up and walk out of here.
I'm telling you, there's no paper on her. That's crazy. Well, as far as the police are concerned, nothing happened on the freeway last night.
Yeah, well, 100 people must have seen that truck blow up.
Sweetheart, listen to me. A cover-up on this scale, we're talking very serious people. Do you really think this is something you should get involved with?
Laura, nobody waltzes into my hospital and removes one of my patients. I don't care how serious they are.
This is I mean, it's pretty lucky that he has a very well-connected lawyer.
Special Agent Traeger.
Good
Visual
old
Intelligence
Red.
Unit, would you come with me, Dr. Mason?
Kurtwood Smith ruled the 90s. I love him so much.
Because he's in
great in
RoboCop,
that.
right?
Yeah,
He's in RoboCop.
Yeah.
Total Recall.
I'd like to see her right now.
No, pause on him a little bit.
I can brief you on the way.
Wait.
I thought he was in Total Recall.
Where?
Not?
Can't tell you that.
No. That was pause on him, Preston.
Fine.
Yeah.
Bring her here. We'll.
That was Michael Ironside, but you'll remember Kurtwood
yeah.
Smith because he was in every Star Trek. He was the
Well, that's true.
president
He
in
was
the.
in every Star Trek.
He was the president in Star Trek. He was the previous commander of Deep Space Nine. He was in Voyager. This guy was all over the 90s before he was Red. You're thinking of Michael Ironside, who was also in a bunch of 90s shows.
Oh, he was in Rambo 3. I remember him
Yes.
in Rambo 3.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the running joke, I think, in the show was going to be that he keeps dying in every universe. So he's going to be like Kenny. So like every episode you'd meet him and then he would die. It's a pretty colorful tie for a TV government agent.
This is Agent Cameron.
See, you've met Kat.
I get it. Ha ha!
She's just like, haha, she keeps scarring people, biting off their noses. Long establishing shots, man.
Yeah, you're right. That was all establishing shot. You could have just cut that out. Cut directly to them dropping off.
Hop in, Doc.
Gotta kill that time.
Weird, because so he said that he said originally he wrote a script for a 60-minute pilot, and they came back to him and they said they loved the script. We decided to greenlight a 90-minute pilot, and so he had to rewrite the script to pad it out.
Not my girlfriend's. How many were killed?
Only the air conditioning. Let's go.
Oh my god, it's so boring.
Not water, air. It's quite sophisticated. Uses a high-velocity jet of pressurized air. Spits out these.
Notice the awkward grip. The girl must have used both hands in order to fire.
We believe the weapon was engineered for someone with different hands.
You'd need fingers like a squid.
Here.
When the X-Files, it hadn't
found 3
premiered
of these
yet, had
magazines
it?
in our pockets.
No, I think it had. Well, okay, maybe it didn't. X-Files.
And take a look at this.
Okay, it's the
93.
same year. Yeah.
Around the same time. So he's writing scripts and everything. Like this idea of the all-knowing government that's keeping tabs on aliens and stuff. I mean, I suppose that had been appearing in sci-fi and fantasy comic books before X-Files, but
the shell is more like horn.
It's funny. I wonder like if George would have ended up on the X-Files. Because I think he would have been good on X-Files.
But once again,
like the short story stuff.
At 5:13 this morning, these insets emitted an intense yellow light for about 9 seconds. And we don't know why.
Look, this show and tell has been fascinating, but I still don't know what you want from me.
Yeah, and you're showing it to this like doctor, this like pediatrician.
We want to know who did.
He doesn't know. It's like them grabbing me. Like, I don't fucking know.
He literally spent like 20 minutes with her at the hospital.
This is such a strange place. So many creatures,
like our own world, before the cleansing.
For the cleansing.
The masters say ours is the only true world, Thane. This is but a shadow.
Perhaps the masters of this world say the same thing of our own. Or perhaps there are worlds without masters.
You spend too much time with your old books, Thane. A very dangerous pastime.
Thane is like a Thousand Worlds thing, right? That's like
what will you do with her?
There's Bethane. What is it? Tane and Bethane.
What I must.
From which
like
story? Are you talking about not Fail,
Dying of the Light?
Blossomer or something else?
I'm thinking about Dying of Light. Like that's like the husband wife thing that they had.
Get it off. No,
Yeah, maybe. Thane.
I don't know. I like hearing the Georgisms that are reused. I think it's Tane and Bethane, but it sounds very similar to Tane.
Yeah. Well, Tane as in like the husband, or whatever.
Yeah.
It's true. Like, why are they bringing this guy along? I mean, it's great that he has all of these exposition people around. Where it's like, I've got my lawyer wife or lawyer fiance. I've got these government agents that seem to know more than they should.
Mine.
She's awful. I think she's terrible.
We get that on tape. Is that
G.O.
Somebody get Roth down here now.
G.O. Sin Crow Nader.
My little female calls to me.
You're right, Preston, that these people have no accents, even though...
Right.
The city of
this is the same.
They're from the same area on the same world. They should like, I can accept that in their parallel world they have American accents. Just have them all have American accents. Like, she could barely speak when she first arrived. She was like
speaking like Tarzan.
Yeah.
You said we got a yellow light.
Yellow, yes, definitely.
So what you're saying, Trey, is this strange world they all come from. Everybody needs to have a French accent.
Everybody should have a French accent, yeah. Or not know English.
Pointing at.
In this world, people in California had French accents, and people in France had Californian accents. That was the only difference.
Where did you get this? And then the weapon, the air gun. Boom!
Boom. Hand cannon. Not for men. Needing it, taking it, stealing it. Good for killing.
Why is it that she speaks pidgin English?
You know what?
When, like, everybody else speaks fluent?
Kill anybody, did you, Cat?
Dark Lord. Going out, Thomas.
Ask her the significance of the chromatic change in the bracelet display.
Get back to the bracelet. Find out what the colors mean.
About the bracelet.
I love that.
The blue light points to the door, right? What about the yellow light?
Strange animals outside my window.
Oh my god.
When you know.
Last night.
I don't know. Last night, I think.
Too soon. Coming here now. Dark Lords, mein Hound, Thane.
Relax. You can't break through that.
Yes! Safe here!
Not safe! Not safe!
Relax, you can't break through that. That wasn't even very hard.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Another guy lost his nose?
I think it's the same guy. He got his nose bitten again. It's like a running gag with her. George thought he had gold. He had gold there. He's like, I'm making that joke.
Got that big button there.
I like how the government's operating out of this dingy warehouse.
Like, he presses that button and the chemical shower like sprays down water to wash him off. Like, what's the?
Yeah, sure hair.
Cat of the canals, Catelyn Tully, come back.
Yeah, it's like, why does he care this much about her?
The glass was supposed to be unbreakable.
The glass was supposed to be unbreakable.
They're still on it.
I think it's supposed to be in a government facility. She's just like taking random stairs. You don't have to swipe a badge for any of these stairwells. I mean, I understand it's the 90s, but I think they still have like badge swiping.
This is the incident that caused him to get the badge swiping mechanism.
Cars different in my universe can turn on by turning on the window shield wipers.
Thomas, going fast.
Can't these guys have guns?
Little guns, come now.
Hold it!
Now, Thomas, now.
Get out of the car!
I can't do this. Why don't you move over?
Let me get into the bullet range. Wait, you only shot one bullet? See, in the real world, cops just like unload the entire...
Why would he drive away with her? Doesn't he know that she bites people's noses off?
We're out. We're out.
Yeah,
We're really out.
you need, for this to work, you
Where are
need
we
him to have
going?
like a miserable life beforehand. Like you need him, like he hates his job, he hates it, like he's got nothing
that
going
he's
for
looking
him.
for adventure, he's super bored.
You did more tricks than he ever did. Better ones, anyway.
1100 hexes, Thomas. Fast, much fast.
All right.
Much fast.
What's a hex?
You know the term for Dark Lord, but you don't know like the like.
Preston, you may want to fast forward through this segment until they get to the door.
I remember this being very boring. Yeah, them wandering around looking for the doorway.
Fucking disgustingly boring, this section.
The
I just watched this
drive.
California countryside.
They drive and more uninspired banter where they clearly don't have chemistry.
Thank you. Hey. Hey. Thanks. This is going well. Why don't you try it? Come on. Damsel in distress. Show him a little leg. You know? It happened one night.
Happening one night?
Never mind. You just stand there and look like you look.
So he's establishing her as being like really super hot, but like
Not needing leg.
it's like she's fine, but she's not Trinity. She's nowhere close to Trinity.
Yeah, she's I
don't mean to be like objectifying here, but like
that's what the story demands. The story demands somebody who's like drop dead,
or significantly different. The problem is they're both brunettes. Had she been like some blonde or something, and he was with a brunette, or the reverse, like he's with a blonde and she's a brunette, then like she's something different. Like we haven't even established like is Trinity boring? Does he not like her? But he seemed to like her great.
Yeah, the one scene that we got with her, she seemed pretty cool.
Cat.
I think we're writing a better doorway script here. The door. We're fixing George's script, isn't it?
George had 2 fucking years.
Other Earths.
I think it would be more compelling
Different.
and more understandable for his choices if he just didn't have a girlfriend at all. And he was he was he was living a boring life, and that would give him more reason to go.
I mean, knowing that he's really into magic makes me think that he didn't really have a girlfriend, and he was living a boring life.
Yeah.
Thomas.
That he's got nothing to lose by doing that.
Right. I mean, he's looking for a little of an adventure. The problem is, the hospital's pretty exciting though. They should have had him be like some humdrum, like accountant or something.
Yeah.
Like every day, it's just like, oh, this is how.
Like Office Space, like the guy in Office Space. And
He's like,
of
course, we are describing the beginning of The Matrix as well.
We're just... Damn it, you're right. That is just The Matrix. Oh my gosh. Man, they're flying.
I mean, that's a helicopter shot, right?
Yeah, they had to pay a whole helicopter just for that shot. Yeah, because this is before drones, so Is that a helicopter
That's
shot?
a crane.
Or is it a crane?
It's a crane
That's a
shot. Still expensive. They have like a camera on the top of a car with a crane.
My gosh.
Where are we? What town is this?
T or C?
Excuse me?
Truth or Consequences, New Mexico.
Oh, perfect. Well, thanks for the lift.
Was that necessary? Truth or Consequences, New Mexico?
It must be some inside joke with George or something.
Don't go anywhere. Stay right there.
I mean, I guess he, yeah, I mean, he has a house in Santa Fe at this point.
Yeah, maybe he drove from Santa Fe to LA, so he probably had to pass through there or something.
At some point,
yesterday.
probably.
Would
Yeah.
you care to explain what happened?
Police are there, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Laura, never meant for you to get dragged into this.
It's not your fault. Is your client in trouble?
She's the most understanding wife in TV history. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I'd be like, what do you mean you left work and drove away with this woman?
Right.
And they're in another
Aided and
state.
abetted. Like, she's a lawyer. She knows the legal consequences for all of this, right?
Another 12 hours.
You aided and abetted somebody running from the cops.
And is totally cool with it. They can fuck up her career.
Right.
It won't be so bad. I know a real good lawyer.
Does Laura know that Kat has bitten at least 2 noses? Does she know?
Are you okay?
They talked about it. Yeah, they talked about it.
Yeah, that's right. She joked around and was like, ah. She thought it was funny.
Oh, boo-hoo, I got a hot fiance waiting for me at home that's very understanding of my situation.
Cat! Wait!
First of all, the hospital, too, must be like, where are you? This is your shit.
Yeah. We have a child. We have a sick child that needs surgery.
Where's this beeper? He doesn't have a beeper? I think they're required to have beepers.
He's a brain surgeon and he's scheduled for today.
Yeah, he's a surgeon. Yeah, we didn't really. He was a pediatrician. He had a little kid with like a cough.
Hope he's not on call.
Still, it's important.
We must make.
Oh my god, dude! Just like, there's
It's
so
a
much
lot of-
killing time.
Yeah, and we're in this. This is very cheap too. This is a California desert somewhere.
There, the only building. Like, you didn't need to fucking do a compass. Okay? Just like, it's the only fucking building. Oh, abandoned gas station. Interesting. Huh. It's interesting that the place that we need to go is an incredibly cheap shooting site. Like, let's have our meeting in the dried up riverbed of LA. Oh, really? The only place that I don't need a permit to film? Yes.
I hate to tell you this, but it's a men's room.
Too soon. Thomas? Coming?
No, why would he come with you?
I wish
It's like, I got a life here.
When I was little, I used to think my father was Merlin. Then one day I found out it was all just tricks. Maybe the real magic is right through that door.
Okay, so this is his motivation. He wants to experience magic.
I guess it's too late for me, Kat. I've got a life and a career, a girlfriend,
A hot fiance.
student loans to
Yeah.
repay. This is as far as I go.
He put it in. The actor put it all in it, like it all for that scene. He's like, "Fuck it, I gotta sell this right here."
I like her reaction where she's just like,
Thomas, no go. Thomas, no go with me.
Thomas no leave his stable life and hot wife to go on the run from dangerous monsters.
Oh
with
my
me.
god, is this? Oh my god, is she fucking pulling? Like, is it like infantilism, or she's like, "I'm little girl, you no go." Like, is it like that?
Yeah. I think that's kind of what they're going for.
Oh.
It is an Arya. She is an Arya kind of deal here.
Now I get it now. Okay, so we've established him as he's really like a pedo, and like he's only into like girls that are like act like toddlers and bite off noses. No bite. Like,
my God.
Oh.
Yeah, what the hell? He sucks.
You're under arrest.
Scat, no! How did you find us?
Doc, please. We never lost you. We wanted to find out where she would go. I gotta admit, I didn't expect this. Put her in the car.
Didn't expect this cheap filming location.
You didn't expect Vasquez Rock, where they
they Star Wars it. They're like, we let you escape so we could find out where the rebel base was. Yeah. Wanted to know where you'd go.
Who the hell are you?
Thane. I called it. Thane.
I will not harm you.
The girl's a federal prisoner.
Yeah, their way of talking is very similar to, what are they called in Dying of the Light? Just hunter people?
Relax.
The Brennan Braith? Or the Braith?
Yeah.
Oh, Brennan Braith, I guess the, now I'm forgetting. Brennan Braith is the half burned face guy, right? Brennan. So, were they all the Braith?
You should have given her to me.
They were the... God, I forgot what they're called. They're hunters, right? They're all like hunting civilization.
Oh, poor Red got killed.
He got killed? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I talked over it. How did he kill him?
His power is
he just like grabbed his face and like crushed his face.
Mercy.
Yeah, but he's Wolverine. He has the bone.
I think they do. I think they have the bone claws.
That's it. That's it.
Your new maid,
oh, you're right, he does. He's got the bone claws.
Look at his wimpy little bone claws. Those are really unintimidating.
I'm trying to remember when the bone claws were established as Wolverine's. Like for a while it was assumed that the claws were added by the Weapon X project and that they were actually like retractable metal things that were added, but it was a surprise later when the adamantium was removed from Wolverine's body and he had like bone claws. That the bones were that the claws were part of him.
That sounds way more interesting than what's happening right now.
Oh my God. Yeah, this is a fight scene.
It's like student film fight scene. It's so inconsistent. Like I say, like they spent all the money on that chopper shot and those crane shots, that truck explosion, and this meanwhile is like, okay, it's dark, and let's have a bunch of people roll like right here.
Whoa.
Like what the fuck?
Because yeah, you kind of need her to be like Matrix, like where she's doing flips and stuff, and not just grabbing on someone slowly and spinning around. That explosion was nuts. Look at that.
But this is pre-Matrix, so like we're not expecting like good TV fights. There's no Daredevil, no parkouring.
You know what's really sad and a shame about this show is the concept of doorways into parallel universes is fun, but the doorways look so uninspiring and boring. Like, it's not an elevator door, it's not like an ancient portal door, it's just blue light.
Blue. And like before, when they crossed into the world, it was literally nothing. It was just... They just split screen. Like, right there. They just split screen.
Oh my God. You're right, Carmine, though, that like this concept is kind of fun. Like, we don't know where we're going next week. Who knows?
So,
it's like X-Files.
George is apparently very, very bitter, and he self-admittedly very bitter about the show Sliders coming out. Because he believed that like Sliders essentially stole this idea. Sliders came out in 1995, so it was a couple years later. The big difference, though, Sliders, as cheesy as it was, had a very likable cast. The cast of Sliders was incredible.
Wow. 5 seasons. Holy shit.
And it was a
88
similar
episodes.
premise, like alternate universe.
Yes.
Each
Yeah.
week.
And you could at least when the door showed up, it kind of looked cool, even if it was a cheap effect.
Yeah.
But I have to say that the original cast of Sliders for that first season was a fucking fantastic cast. They were so great.
Dynasty Sliders TV show.
It was Jerry O'Connell,
Oh my gosh,
Sabrina Lloyd,
it's
Clevin
John Rhys
Derricks,
Davies.
and John Rhys Davies.
Oh my goodness.
Gimli. Yeah, I think they were Gimli
Gimli.
and Jerry O'Connell.
Yeah. It was really, the beginning of Sliders was really fun.
I'll have to watch Sliders then. Because that's the thing, I think if Doorways kept on going, like, I don't know if the alternate universes would be that interesting, because they'd have to save on budget a lot of the time.
Right,
Film in
like,
the desert.
this is them spending all of their money, and it comes out to this, like, boring slog.
Because, yeah, you're like, oh my gosh, a world where Hitler won, or I don't know, the Confederacy won, or something like that. I don't know. You could do so much with it, but they're limited with the budget and the imagination.
And they're like,
And I don't
first
know if they can do
episode,
that.
a world where there's no petroleum-based products. There's no oil or plastic. And so that's the world.
That's what we got. That's what we got.
So what are you guys gonna do in this world? Well, we're gonna go to a trucks. We're gonna go to like a way station, and everyone's gonna talk. And some bandits are gonna come out from the side of the road.
In children's bicycles.
That's right.
I don't know. It all looks the same. Okay, how soon before this door opens again?
No door this side, Thomas. There, here. Not here, there.
What are you talking about?
One way? Cat, how do I get home again?
He's doing his best. He's doing his best.
I know. When his co-star is acting like a
so
little
much.
toddler.
I really, like 90% of the show is like the two of them, not exactly bickering, but interacting.
Thomas!
And you're supposed to like, if the whole weight of the show is on like their sexual tension, it's just not enough.
Denver?
Yeah. You're right that he's trying. And she's just not that good. I don't know.
Door just brought us to Denver. We're still
It's hard to act in another language.
Yeah, I think it's like why choose this particular actress to play this role?
What is it?
Traffic, Thomas.
Because that's the thing is when the scene with him and Trinity, like Trinity was actually pretty good and they had good chemistry and stuff. Why not swap the two?
Trey, when Preston told me the premise of the show, he made it sound like Trinity was the main character. I was so disappointed. I watched it earlier today. I was so disappointed Trinity was not the main. I'm like, what? Who was behind
Trinity's
this?
in it for a good like 40 seconds altogether, and then she's gone forever.
Stay here. Hey there!
Oh my god.
Please, or next time I won't miss!
Don't shoot!
I said,
Damn it, Sissy, cut that out. You're scaring the horse. What can we do for
There's
you?
our George R. Martin character.
We need a ride. We ran out of gas.
Yeah, about 15 years ago, I'd say. Why is your girlfriend hiding behind that rock?
It's not my girlfriend. This is Cat. Cat, stand up. Slowly.
shooting now, Thomas?
Don't shoot, don't. Just take it easy.
He spends a lot of time like jumping in between people, like trying to shoot people,
We need a
trying
ride
to
to
shoot
Denver,
each
if
other.
that's possible. If you're going that way, it would be nice. Or any way would be okay with us.
You know, it must be 10 or 12 years since the last time I picked up a hitchhiker.
Right. What year is it anyway?
Well, it was 1993 when I left California.
That's great. Oh, that's excellent. Great year, 1993.
Well, are you going or not? Come on.
Grandfather, we can't.
They're all right, Sissy. I'm never wrong about people.
I think I remember. What was that guy in? Not FX.
Oh. Some doorways. IMDb. Let's see. What's his character's name?
Big nut dogs.
Horses
Jake.
cats called horses. She's new. So, how long did we get to the main road?
This is.
Oh, he's in Gremlins.
Oh, that's right. He's the dad from Gremlins. You're right.
He's the
Fuck
dad from
yeah, that's
Gremlins.
Where you
it.
headed, Jake?
Yeah.
The inventor.
We'll be spending the night at the truck stop on the way.
Doorways was one of the last things he worked on.
Not my girlfriend.
She's not good with pronouns. Oh, it's all
She's
fake.
not good with pronouns.
Here's another ride. Maybe something a little faster.
That's good. That's good.
Leave the gun alone.
Well, when I was your age, I was the same way. Lived for speed. All I needed was my rig, my radar detector, my tape deck, and the open road. Oh, man could fly in the old days.
Such a boomer.
Why are you looking at me that way? You're weird. What do you want from us?
Right? Denver?
Bite off nose.
Wonderful place.
I thought those. Was George a wanderer like
Give me
this
that.
character?
That's
Like he
peanut oil.
was like he drove all over the place.
No, but he's such a hippie that I'm sure he like
So what? It's not like
worships
we don't
kind of
got
all of
another
that
4,000 cans just like it
Jack
down below.
Kerouac kind of like on the road kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Sorry about that.
Whether it be the
A little
hippies that are like
sometimes.
wandering around, that
So,
people following
about
dead,
peanut oil.
all sorts of.
Can you think it's a better lubricant?
I forget, like out west, there are a lot of these like weird hippie colonies. People do kind of have a different, I don't know, outlook. So I don't know what New Mexico is like with their weird boomer hippie people out there. But I feel like you're going to be more likely to find like a trailer park filled with boomer hippies out in California or New Mexico than you would in New Jersey.
Yeah. Oh man.
So this is like, was this like Waterworld where they wasted all their money like building this this town?
Oh my gosh, Waterworld. I watched Waterworld for the first time recently. And that was an insane movie.
It's a funny movie because it's like I don't mind the concept or even any of the acting or even the plot, but I don't think it's that exciting of a movie. I don't know.
Yeah, it's boring. There's a huge chunk of it in the middle that's super boring. That's just Kevin Costner and the one little girl bickering and stuff. And then the ending is very fun, like the ending where they go on the Exxon Valdez or whatever and they fight Dennis Hopper. It's great. That's exciting. But yeah, there's a lot of boring time killing in the middle.
Yeah, I mean it's just that's the thing at the end of the day. It's like if you produce an unwatchable like movie, it doesn't matter how much you spent on this like insane set.
That was Trey. I don't care what he says. Cat, I saw him die.
Oh, that's right. They ran into Reddit.
It's the same man.
The same? Different.
He's like, I don't understand the premise of this show again. Can you explain the premise of this show again for me?
Look. The same?
We're jumping alternate universes and I can run into an alternate version of myself? Like, this is honestly a concept that you can get in like 5 seconds. We're in an alternate universe. Oh, so he's still alive. Oh my God. Done. Like, he's sitting there being like, What?
Look, I think they focus group tested this, and
like,
grandmas were not understanding it. They're like, we need to add this scene here, George.
They're like hand holding everybody.
Yeah, where we have 2 mirrors.
Look, endless mirrors.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he really has to get it. He hasn't got it yet.
In a parallel world.
Oh my gosh, we're in a parallel
Holy
world.
shit.
Like, what did you think? Where did you think you were for the past fucking 8 hours? Like, what the?
Everything was better in the old
Like,
days.
not in a parallel world?
My boys are the same way.
Yeah, these kids today just don't seem to understand. Tom, how old were you when it happened?
What happened? Pretend I've been trapped in a cave for 20 years on another planet with amnesia.
Okay, I'll play. Talking about the bug. The one they came up with to deal with that big oil spill off of Australia, remember?
Australia, right. They made the insect?
No, not a bug. It was more of a microbe gene type thing. Ate oil.
So it ate the oil spill.
Well, for appetizers, that just seemed to make it hungrier. It ate all the oil in the world. And all the plastics, and all the gas, and all the resins. Cleaned the plate.
Right. Right. It must have been pretty...
Every environmentalist's dream is this world right here.
Say that.
I mean, there wouldn't be any climate change, right? All the carbon capture would have been... It depends what the bug did with it. Did it emit it into the air? Like, what happened to all the carbon that it consumed? Maybe it did emit all... Well, oh man, maybe there would be massive global warming here. It emitted all of the carbon. Thane.
Thane.
You think she's gonna be like Thane again? I think she is.
These guys are so... Oh god.
They're all Star Trek where they're wearing the same uniform.
He's loving it. You think that prop is somewhere? That little snake thing around her, that wrist thing that she has?
Yeah, I want to find that one day. It's funny because I think those are plastic pictures. Like, I understand that there's
I was thinking the same exact thing about the pictures, yeah.
They're definitely
The
plastic
cups.
pictures, but like, it's, we can pretend they're glass.
Getting loose horses.
I could see George owning a prop from this. His little library.
Wait a minute, these aren't our horses.
If there were any prop that you would save, it would be her snake thing.
Yeah. Or maybe the gun, the little fish gun.
All the emergency rooms and all the hospitals and all the cities and all the worlds. You had to roll into mine. Why do I even try? Cat, there are places where they kill you for stealing horses.
Killing them first.
No!
It's so ridiculous. Like, first of all, like, a guy his age quoting Casablanca, but then quoting Casablanca to a woman from an alternate universe, like, it's just like, you know very well that it's like George, because like, like, I'm just gonna write this Casablanca line in here.
I'm so happy that Game of Thrones takes place in an alternate, like a medieval universe, so he can't do pop culture references like that. Because like, if it was Thousand Worlds, he would shoehorn in some weird.
Oh,
pop
I mean,
culture references.
if you read, Wild Cards and Armageddon Rag, and like, they're filled with these pop culture references.
Away from the animal.
And you're just like,
and
it's
then
just
you
like,
just don't get.
It's not like I didn't live through the 80s and the 90s, and so it's like, like, it's not like I wasn't there, but we're referencing these weird things in his world.
The Good Ship Lollipop. The Good Ship Lollipop. I'm like, what?
That's your favorite. The Good Ship Lollipop.
I hate that.
That some guy like 500 years in the future would be naming a ship after a Shirley Temple movie.
I'm trying to steal your horses.
I knew they were no good. Shame on you, Pete.
Jake, let me...
I don't want to hear nothing you got to say.
Damn.
Sit down, mister. Right through those doors. Come on. Back to your beers.
Just like I told you, you hear all these frightening stories about trouble on the road.
Yeah, that
these
picture
days,
looks
and
It's
then-
definitely a
and
plastic
then look
picture.
what happens to these nice people.
Mom, it's not that bad. We'll be all right.
It just scares me to death.
Well, maybe you should travel with us. You know, a caravan.
Grandpa.
Could we? I mean, do you think?
I think so. Wait till you see Sissy on her sewing machine.
It's so George, where like, so one of the things I've noticed with George is George specifically misestablishes stuff through exposition, and then just to subvert your expectation later. So this is something that he commonly does. So like earlier, the guy's like, "I'm never wrong about anybody," misestablishing exposition, you know, so that because he's wrong about this woman right here.
Because she scams him, right? She's part of that evil gang. Yeah. It's coming back to me. Oh no, his credit card.
Oh no.
Don't leave home without him.
I don't even know if like that was the slogan for American Express in 1993. Like, don't leave home without it is like a very 80s, like early 80s, like American Express slogan. Like by then, like Visa and MasterCard have already taken over at this point. Like
it was
people don't...
first used. This slogan was first used in '75.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, American Express, like in that period, American Express becomes is a dominant credit card, and then Visa and MasterCard like take over. And like you wouldn't think of your primary, like no one would think of their primary credit card by the 90s as being an American Express. You'd think of your primary being a Visa.
I like going through this and seeing like all these things that date George as an old man, even in '93.
It's such a boomer.
All right.
I mean, people would still get it. It's sort of like, where's the beef? Like if they made a where's the beef joke, you're like, yeah, it's 10 years later, but everybody still remembers where's the beef, you know? But you know what I'm talking about with where's the beef?
Yeah, I know where's the beef. Okay. I did not know that was a "Don't leave home without it." I didn't know that it was a credit card slogan.
Oh yeah.
Like I just thought he was just talking about credit cards in general. Like,
no, American Express. Don't leave home without it.
Oh my gosh. So there's all these references that George makes.
That character, the main character, seems to be constantly referencing movies and ads.
Oh, I'm so thankful that Tyrion Lannister can't reference pop culture and because
man, there is so much time. These two actors must have gotten to really know each other.
Lights out.
Lights out.
Lights out.
At least the stars are still the same.
Oh, is she disappointed that he's not like ready to bone?
I used to know a man back home. We used to sit and count them. God, he'd have his work cut out for him here. Look at them all.
Look at them all.
No counting.
Yeah, they have no chemistry. Oh my gosh.
2, 3, 5, 6.
4. You forgot 4.
In my universe, 4 doesn't exist. Oh, come on.
Four.
We need to,
6,
how you say,
12,
have sex.
20.
No, okay, you're as bad at math as I am. Let's try this again. 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6, 7.
That sucked.
I know.
Like I know what he's going for, and it just sucks. It doesn't land at all.
Yeah, it's too bad. Considering that like they give the characters a lot of time to establish their relationship.
We tried.
An impressive amount of time. I've probably never seen a show where you're giving the romance so much time to simmer.
I can't figure out where you knew me from.
Well, let's just say I confused you with your brother.
I don't have a brother.
Your mirror image, your shadow, your doppelganger. We're not from your world.
Your shadow.
Leaving
A shadow that looked like Stannis.
coming.
The guy who killed you.
And you expect me to believe all this crap, right?
No, you didn't believe it last time either.
Didn't believe it
He's
last
not
time.
too bad on that horse. Let's go here.
Thanks for coming with us.
It's my pleasure, Jacob. I feel safer being with you.
You know, I guess we got off lucky last night. I still can't believe those two kids.
Like he's trying to get laid, right? Is that it?
Yeah.
Wasn't like that.
It's hard to get laid in this
I'd never have to think twice
bug
about picking up a
universe.
hitchhiker. You
Old
met all
man.
kinds of people on the road back then. Servicemen, college kids, hippie
No,
girls.
there's a George van right there.
There's George.
VW.
What's that noise?
I saw your video talking about Dunkin' Egg, and then you showed a picture of George in college or whatever.
Yeah.
Little hat. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think that's actually that's after his graduation from college, or his graduation from his master's degree, which is only like 15 years.
That's crazy. So that's crazy that he's like the same age as me in that photo. Like he looks like he's
the same age as who?
30 something. As me, like I think if he's getting his master's,
yeah.
Like, he's probably like that is nuts. He looks so old.
You want to scrub my back?
He
Leave her alone.
Well, it's that funny thing about like people in different times and how they dress, like make people look like super old, you know?
Yeah. When you see like high schoolers in like 90s, it's like I don't know stuff from like the 90s.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just make it quick. There's work to do.
Holy shit.
He was just trying to get laid.
It's pretty dark for ABC.
How are they?
Oh my god, that's.
I know, but like, okay, are they establishing that they've like brought back rubber trees or something for the tires on the bicycles?
Ooh. The answer is George didn't think it through. Because you're right. That those are real old. Because this is 20 years after the apocalypse. Somebody's making even new stuff.
Right. Someone has like brought this rubber tree. Oh my goodness. This is.
Yeah, this is.
This is. He's like, I got a great pilot. It involves an attempted gang rape. You're like, what, George? Fucking. At the beginning, people are biting each other's noses off, and then there's an attempted gang rape.
Preston skipped ahead, but when they heard the gunshot, that's how they escaped from Red.
Oh, is that it? Okay.
Another one. Even better, guys. No waiting.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, she's got a
Some
toy
brave
gun.
companions
I know.
in a bicycle gang.
Bang, bang.
That guy looks familiar.
That would have been really dark is for that character to be played by the same actor as the Doctor guy. Like his alternate universe is like an evil, horrible person.
Right, yeah.
You're going ahead, Trey, but I have something for that.
Oh.
But you're right that it would have been really dark if like one of them were Thomas. That's his name, right?
Yeah, I think it's Thomas.
She goes Thomas.
Shoot her. Damn.
The falling down sound effect. Jesus.
He's dead.
Sissy.
It makes it,
That
I think it makes it look like he
explosion
called
was
him
like
sissy.
massive. That would have. Let me bite off your nose. He's like, awkward. There.
Where's the hospital?
Denver. Other side of those mountains.
Well, he's gonna die if we don't get him that hospital.
I'm based out of an old ranger station near here. If we can get him there, I can radio down the afternoon flight.
Afternoon flight?
Oh, the budget.
Get these mailbags out of here.
That's the United States mail.
Well,
And it's like, and like the budget was spent on it, and it's like underwhelming. You know, like you're like, oh.
No more. I'll
It's
get the
just-
mail to Denver personally.
Can Cat come with us?
We'll never clear the mountain.
It's you know what it is. It's like
Not going away.
it's like having caviar at a party. Like it's expensive and it's not that impressive, you know? Like no one really likes it that much.
Be there. Don't worry.
Like the hot air balloon. It's not like somebody watching at home being like, hot air balloon?
Holy
Like
shit.
fuck yeah.
Or if they had like a train or something, you're like, oh.
Cast off.
Yeah, it's like it's so kind of like lame and underwhelming.
Oh my god, and they put a camera. Let's show you exactly how a hot air balloon works. Oh my goodness.
She moves east. In the wind. She will be at the door before the dawning.
I totally forgot about
She may
Thane.
not go to the door, Thane. She may
Yeah,
hide
Thane.
instead.
Thane, disgraced, twice failed. I will give you one last chance to regain your honor.
I
Honor.
live to
Oh
serve.
man. Yeah. You're right. It's totally the culture
Find
from.
her, but do not harm her. Her crime has been great. Her anguish
Weird
must be
arm.
greater. She will serve my pleasure.
Like I
not
bought this at
your
Halloween
empty
Spirit
pride.
and went. Yeah, like fade to black.
Yeah, it is like, what were they called? What the fuck? Dying of the Light? Let's see. Kevlar race.
Yeah, the Cavalon.
Yeah.
The Cavalon was the whole planet, but I think like their tribe was the Braiths, right?
The
Or was it
Braiths.
just Brett?
Brett and Braith. Vic Jickery or whatever.
Jan Vickery, yeah.
Jan Vickery. This useless knowledge taking up space in my brain of the Thousand
Oh,
Worlds
not so
total-
useless, man. I mean, come on.
Hey, it's
You get to
Denver.
connect with dozens of people out there
Tens.
who have
Tens,
read Dying of
even
Light.
dozens.
Oh my god, somebody's got to have that, you think?
Yeah, that's got to be something. I don't know. Maybe they just tossed it.
I have I've impressively gone through almost this entire bottle of wine.
Oh my god.
Oh, all these doctors. He's gonna fit right in.
Scared. What if he dies?
Oh, is this that one building that they film almost everything in LA? The ending, for example, of 500 Days of Summer is there. Blade Runner's filmed in it. I think it's this building.
Well, they use Vasquez Rocks, which is in every TNG episode, so why not?
Since they've started filming stuff in Georgia, because like the tax breaks and stuff, like everybody uses the High Museum. Like there's like all these, these locations that they use in everything because they're distinct.
Trinity must be really worried at this point.
Yeah, that her husband.
Many days, right?
Boyfriend's gone.
He's going to make it.
Can I see him?
He's in the ICU right now, sleeping. You won't even know you're there.
Please, I want to see him.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that was pointless. Just killed some time there.
I'm not scared now.
Yeah, this is definitely that like famous building that they always film everything in.
It's a cool building. It's a cool building. They're doing what they can with their shoestring budget.
It's a lot. I mean, it seems like it was a pretty impressive budget. We've seen
yeah for a
higher
pilot,
balloon, a tanker blow up, a car blow up.
Not scared now.
A lot of different like
Not
environments
scared
here.
now. Not scared.
Let's see if I get any information on the.
Sure is beautiful in your world.
There you go again, my world.
Last time I saw Denver, it was brown with pollution.
Well, clean air is one of the fringe benefits of the bug. Tom, where you from, really?
I told you.
Ah, yeah, right. Alternate world.
See that tree? See how it branches out? How the trunk divides into two, into four limbs, and the limbs go to the bigger branches, the big branches, the little branches?
Oh, big branches and little branches. What is it? Botany lesson?
I'm sorry. We are 1 hour and 12 minutes into this, and he is telling the premise again.
But what if we're more like a tree? Each branch is another world.
Oops. I'm sorry. I was trying to do volume.
Each branch is another world, another Earth. But each branch is different. Say your branch gets the bug, and on mine it never happens. But
yes,
there are other
we get
branches
it.
of the world.
We fucking get it, dude.
You marry your high
We
school
fucking
sweetheart,
get
and I
it.
pitch with a twin.
And I understand that like multiverse shit is
we're
like
never
really
even born.
popular now,
A
and
world
we're
where
past it.
Hitler
But
was
like,
assassinated and
they
Jack
got it in
wasn't.
'93. Okay, it wasn't that fucking hard.
Where life never
Well, because we
evolved
had
at
it
all.
in
See, as many
the opening too.
worlds
We
as
had
our
the
stars
opening
and-
narration, which explained it pretty clearly, and then we had the mirror scene, and now we have the tree thing here.
Okay.
Come on, we got it.
Say I
We
buy
got
I
it.
mean, she
John.
told, well,
Question
even
is, how do
before
you
the
get
mirror
from one branch
scene,
to
she
another?
told
Come
us,
on.
like, oh, it's an alternate world.
The
Yeah,
question
then
is,
we
how
have
do you
the
get
mirror
back?
scene. Wait. But there's still smog in LA. That's too bad.
My treasure?
The oil.
See, I thought that was the last we were gonna see of these characters. Like, oh, I'll see my dad now. Bye. Like, and nope.
Right, that would have been
We
it.
still got-
But like now we have this like killing time.
Peanuts. You're my treasure.
And you know what you want to do when you have a hole in your chest is to go
Just
like
have
this.
your daughter like lie on top of it. Like,
Yeah, and
right
lie
on
on
top
top.
of the gun wound.
Me up. Where is he?
Not his boyfriend. Not here. Too slow.
It was just a really bad decision to have her like speak pidgin English.
Dark soon. door soon.
Door soon.
He's the kind who keeps his promises.
This is
How
what
do you know?
What's that?
He's the type that keeps his promises. You don't know that.
You know nothing about the guy. You met him fucking a few days ago. So what's weird here is that, like, supposedly, and granted, like, all of these LA executives might lie, but they supposedly all loved it, and the only reason that it didn't get put on the air was because Lois and Clark was the other fantasy sci-fi show.
Rocky Mountain General, fast!
But it's just hard to believe. Like, it's hard to believe, like, somebody watched this and wasn't like, fuck, this is shit.
This is boring and
It's
kind of
very
lame.
boring. Just
Oh my
bad
God.
music choices as well.
say any faster?
Depends on the tip.
Like, that scene there, like, the minute they saw Thane, they could have been like, had really good music, but instead, like, it was, they watched him, and then they go back to the protagonist, and then it's ding, like this weird, like, could have been like, Thane.
And he's walking slowly in broad daylight, like, yeah. Like, even...
Man, the rubber trees are just going crazy. We could have had electric vehicles.
Oh,
Sissy,
he's there, okay.
How's Jake? Is he gonna be okay?
He'll be fine. No time. Going now.
No. Thane is here. We just saw him.
Don't worry about him. I'll give you a police escort.
This guy already killed you once.
No time. Going now.
No. Now.
This is the climax, man. We've watched 1 hour, 15 minutes.
In front of the theater?
Now we are at the climax of the fucking show. What do we got?
What's exciting?
Finally have the head-to-head with Thane. AKA, what was the guy from Fever Dream?
Oh,
David Julian. It's David Julian. He's here.
You know what would make this more exciting? If Thane was kind of like the T-1000 from the Terminator 2 movie, where he's just mowing down people, not giving a fuck, trying to take them down.
Yeah, he's like punching somebody's head off. But yeah, he's just kind of like...
He's literally fucking walking
softly coming
for like 2 minutes here. The music and the direction are horrible.
Yeah. Kind of running. Oh.
Where is she?
Gone. She's in it.
I would not harm you. She knows me too well. Count yourself lucky, child. You're no fit prey for a hunter.
Thane doesn't seem so bad.
You missed it earlier, but he was kind of having some character development history there. Where
where like he doesn't believe that he's like maybe some worlds that there's not masters or whatever.
Right, he has books and whatnot, and his partner doesn't believe in it.
He's like Jan.
Yeah, I mean,
He's
I
like
do
Jan
sense
Vickery,
that
where
there's
he's
like a lot of complexity to the Thane character in George's head.
Really? we never learned anything about him.
I mean, in the Ben Franklin universe, you never know. Like the Thane story was just gonna get so fucking rich.
There'd be a standalone episode with Thane. Very little dialogue, him wandering around.
We're gonna switch POVs to Thane.
Oh my gosh. So I looked it up, and that prop apparently still exists. That little glider thing she's on.
Really? Where is it?
Let me make sure I saw it, because it's hard to look up Doorway's prop and stuff, because like I think she. Let me see.
Preston, if it's for sale, you gotta buy it.
No, it's sorry, I'm mixing up with something else. It's from Stargate, but it's never mind.
I mean, there's a lot of like similar props that I've seen in shows.
Like, it's very likely it probably was reused. It might have been reused in something else.
Like in some Star Trek thing. Like, oh, Thane. Oh no, you've killed Red again.
Is that how he died? He died by getting kneed in the crotch?
I think so.
Go on, get her out of here.
Oh my god, the Star Wars thing.
Some great electricity, that's good. They got the Highlander budget going.
Go now, Thomas.
We'll never make that door.
Die trying then.
See, for the final doorway of the episode, it looks cool. Kinda.
This was the final showdown that we've been building up to for all this time with Thane, and it's just that explosion.
All right, Trey, you're about to see why Preston wanted to cover this show specifically. You're about to see right now. You're about to understand why. Give it a second. You're about to see it. Because there's a reason why Preston wanted to cover this.
Oh,
and it's based off some of his likes and it's something he really likes.
Okay, where are we now?
It's this scene right here. Let it pan out.
Uh-oh. Here we go again.
Like the end of Quantum Leap, where it's like, uh-oh.
All right, give it a sec. Give it a sec. Here it is. Hold on. This is why Preston wants a second episode. This right here.
No, I do too. I remember this.
On the far right.
Great.
You'll see in a second. Hold on. Not those guys.
Okay, it's Daniel Boone, or Davy Crockett, maybe.
Yeah, Ben Franklin.
Hold on, you see it?
And then on the far right, it's what, Geronimo or somebody?
A Native American on the fucking Mount Rushmore, and there it is. This is why we watch this.
He looks like a Iroquois like Native American, yeah.
Now apparently this was reworked because there's a comic book based on Doorways where they have it's based on George's original script, and the Mount Rushmore has different faces, and I can't figure out what the faces are. I'll bring it up here.
I'm curious. Yeah, I would waste. Okay, I would waste my question on Harangan Mines and who the faces on the Mount Rushmore are. Those are the questions I would waste on George. Who's like the two other guys?
It is really sad that we never got that answer. We could have had it.
Cat in that comic looks way better. Whoa.
No doubt. This is the comic.
Oh yeah,
that was based on George's original script. Okay, so first of all, like, okay,
both of them
if this
are
were
hot.
Cat, maybe I'd understand. Right, and
he's kind of cool. He's like a Giga Chad scientist man.
Right. So, is this Sissy? I'm not sure.
I guess it's Sissy.
So there's Cat. Now you kind of get it. But it's the same thing, right? The truck, kaboom, and then he's there helping people out. And here he does his magic trick, the same shit. And then she comes in, she bites off people's fucking noses again. And he's like, yeah, it's a lot more tense.
Yeah.
This framing.
Let's see Trinity. Where's Trinity at?
Show us Trinity.
Let's see if she compares to Trinity. There, I think this is her.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ. In the TV movie, Cat looks like an angry little boy, but here, like that's Jesus.
Yeah, this is Trinity. Here she is doing the joke.
Yeah, all of it's word for
and now
it's
up
like
here
oh my god.
is Thane.
Yo, they look cool. Look how fucking cool they look.
And his companions. Right, they look like a fucking nightmare. It's fucking incredible.
So real quick before you move on from that panel, this is like 90s cheese Minions. You have the main guy, and then the big dumb guy, and then the girl. That was like in Superman too.
I mean, I get it that it's Zod and the dumb big guy and then the girl. You know, I get it. It's Zod, right? And then is this red?
Yeah, is Traeger black in this version?
Well, I think they've just done it for the comic book. I mean,
of course, Trey, it's DEI before DEI was popular, didn't you know?
Was woke. My
tax
Doorways
breaks.
comic.
Tax breaks right and left. It's just all about tax breaks for government agencies. So they go in, they break out of the facility. They go down.
There should be a lot of scenes of them killing time in the desert.
Killing time in the desert. He makes the phone call to his fucking hot fiancée. They go through the doorway, and then they are. Yeah. There's Thane shows up.
Fucking he looks.
See cooler. If this. I mean, I don't actually think Thane was that bad, but like, this Thane is incredible. Give me the female, and I will not harm you.
So Thane, the female, is a part of Thane's crew. She's normal human, but he's been disfigured. So I'm assuming there's story behind that.
Yeah.
They mentioned stuff about like how the gun was not made for human hands or something. The gun that she uses, so maybe they can that's not their true form. Like their true form is a monster, and then they can kind of turn into human form.
So you're saying that like when he finally starts getting with Kat, like she's going to transform into a monster like the moment he ejaculates?
Maybe not. It's like Berserk.
Here he is. There's our boy.
There's George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, he looks more like George R.R. Martin here, doesn't he? And there's Sissy. It was her.
There's Sissy.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to the scene. Okay, they have the same thing. Man, the pilot followed pretty closely to the script. If this is based on the script.
I'm amazed. Like it's almost like a storyboard how closely it followed.
They get to the bar. He takes the orders. It's again. There's the character again. There's Red. They go into the bathroom. They do the mirror fucking shit. The same fucking thing.
If they do the tree shit, that's like ridiculous.
Oh my god. Well, we'll see. Okay, so Thane is coming. This is my god, the star scene is the fucking same. Oh my god, look at how like alluring she is there. She's like, lights out. Okay, so they're just much more badass here. Okay, here come the Reavers. Here come the Ramsay's boys. The brave companions show up. The betrayal. It's all at night, so it's a little more exciting. Yeah. Okay. Boom, boom. Are they after her? Up. Oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, they actually spend less time on the attempted rape.
Yeah. For the better.
And then they come back, and they connect. Then they take the U.S. mail in their. This more of a blimp.
Yeah, it's kind of like more like it's more like steampunk. It looks more like cool, as opposed to just a regular.
There's more opportunity here with the
comic when the limitations. Yeah.
Thane.
So
you're saying we should do have a fanfic starring Thane and Zondark?
Trey, he will not stop bringing up Zondark, but he's just.
I love Zondark. I'm happy he hasn't. I thought you were going to say that we should, like, in the same way that you're doing the Winds of Winter fanfic, that you should do a Doorways fanfic to see where
Right,
these
but it's like it'd
characters
be
were going.
Doorways slash Berserk.
Look at that fucking thing.
What is this?
Is this like the thing on the aircraft thing? The little woman's
Do you think
voice?
you could escape us, little animal? Because there's the
That is
girl.
cool as hell. That is real fucking cool. Look at that. It's like a Rancor. Yeah, I'm assuming that was like the remember there was the female voice, like the Dark Lord.
Yeah, he's the
They
Dark
just were like,
Lord.
we're not going to show her.
This is the battle downstairs in like the.
Oh, this is way more interesting. You got like a Hulk guy and
Yeah, they
fucking
didn't have the budget for
electrocuted.
this.
People on fire.
So then they escape through the, and then this.
And then you have Jesse Pinkman for some reason.
Kind of looks like Bill Murray on the far left. I don't know why. I thought Bill Murray. Oh, they removed the Native American. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, they got rid of the Native American guy.
Right. So I'm trying to like
Mohawk
figure
is
out who
supposed-
the faces are, and it's like, okay, they seem to have kept like Davy Crockett or something, but Alexander Hamilton, like who is on there? Jefferson Davis. It's hard to know who the faces are.
And the guy with like the gelled up hair, like I have no idea. Because I like the TV show one where you're right that it's like you can tell it's like Davy Crockett, Benjamin Franklin, and then it's like a Native American guy, which is like interesting. Like, what does that mean that there's a Native American president? The other one I don't know. What was the middle one?
Here's the thing about that ending that's just really cool. Like on paper,
It's
like
hard
going
because it's in
through
the
a
shadow here.
Yeah,
going through a parallel universe and then ending up on top of Mount Rushmore with completely different faces. On paper is a really cool ending, but they just didn't land. It just didn't land. It just did not land. So Preston, this was supposed to be like a TV, like a series, like a pilot to like a series, or
the thing is the faces have to shock you, right? Had the American Indian been front and center, like that would have been that's more interesting. But like when it's Ben Franklin, you're like, well, if Ben Franklin was a president, he kind of should have been a president. Like, you know, like it doesn't seem too far off that Ben Franklin would have been a president. So it's not like that different of a world. But like an American
would have been
Indian,
a more shocking face.
But the American Indian wasn't front and center. He was kind of off to the
have the Richard Nixon on there or something like that. I don't know.
You know who would have been a more shocking face? Legitimately, would have been Hitler. That would have been a more shocking face.
Right, you're right. If you're really trying to pull viewers in, Hitler on Mount Rushmore, you're like, fuck, right?
Yeah.
And plus, it's a recognizable face. It's got to be a face. Like I can understand why they changed the faces because here we're sitting here going, who the fuck are these guys? Like, I only know this is Davy Crockett because of his fucking hat. You know, like they were right to switch it to Ben Franklin because Ben Franklin's so recognizable. But man,
there's a show called Man in the High Castle where in an alternate universe the Nazis and the Empire of Japan won, and on the poster for the show you see the Statue of Liberty with like a Nazi sash around her.
Yeah,
which is like very striking.
So there it was. I mean, the comic is pretty. They didn't change.
Yeah, the comic
too much.
looks pretty cool. It's very stylized.
I mean,
Trey, to what you were saying earlier, you know how if this was picked up for a show, you know how what the season finale would have been?
What?
Every episode they're like in a new parallel world, and that the final episode of season 1, they go back to Thomas's original world, or so they think. Then they meet an evil Thomas who's like a serial killer. Everything is the same except Thomas is evil in this one.
He's evil president, like he's the evil dictator of the world or something. I don't know.
Though it's an interesting, it'd be an interesting thought experiment where he goes back and he thinks he's in his original world, and everything is pretty much the same, except that the Dodgers never left Brooklyn. And well, the thing is, I mean, beyond this, but I'm saying like he recognizes that it's actually not his world. And so he's not actually with his girlfriend. Like, in every way, she's his girlfriend, but he knows it's not his girlfriend because He knows he's in a parallel world because the Dodgers never left Brooklyn. That's the only difference. Even in this world, her Thomas left to go on an adventure with a different cat, right? And he's like, I could stay here, but it's still not my Trinity. That's kind of, could be something.
I think so. Yeah. There's some stuff that you could do, like existential, philosophical discussions.
I mean, it's like it's Rick and Morty, right?
Trey. I don't know if Preston's going to want to see this, but there's a series of films that I love. It's called VHS. It's basically found footage, and it's just like anthology.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
dude, have you ever seen VHS Viral, the third one?
No, I have not.
Homie, VHS Viral has a section called Parallel Monsters, where this Spanish inventor invents a gate to a parallel world. And he goes in there, and it's basically the same thing, same world, except the entire planet is run by satanic monsters. And it's all people who just worship Satan. And
so it's not that different
crazy
from our society today.
Well, I don't want to say it.
What happens to Thane? Did they never battle? Oh man,
Thane.
This is Thane.
Every episode, Thane. It's like Newman and Jerry from Seinfeld.
Jerry. In this universe. Yeah.
So
it's a stinker. It was kind of like an okay
stinker
premise
that almost destroyed A Song of Ice and Fire.
So you're telling me, had Doorways concluded and went on to have more seasons, George would have never written a Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire.
So what would have probably happened, according to George, is that. So this was really close to getting picked up. Now, granted, it would probably get picked up for one season or whatever, and then but that's still enough time, 6 months, another year dealing with Hollywood, and where then you're working on your next pilot and you're working on your next show, and you're in the cycle, so you don't know if he would ever escape the cycle again. He needed to have everything to collapse for him to have the time to go home to start writing. Had he been successful, he would have been in the mechanism. I mean, he's in the mechanism now. And he doesn't write because he's in the mechanism of producing on another project, and there's another project and all that shit. That's what he was in for years. And then he snapped out of it. Essentially when this show failed. I mean, he had a small break to begin a Game of Thrones.
So, what's the autopsy on this show? Bad casting. The leads have no chemistry.
I think that the biggest. I think that it's not that I don't like those two leads, but they don't have any chemistry together.
Mm.
I think they could have both been very successful. Did either of them do anything else?
Yes, the actor for Thomas went on to do a bunch of stuff. He's a voice actor, and he went on to do a bunch of other stuff too. She, on the other hand, fell off hard. She's done some French films
she might be
here
doing
and there,
stuff in France. You don't know.
She did for briefly, but there's nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have any. They have no chemistry together. And the thing is, the show relies on that. You need the sexual tension between those two characters. The whole show is their sexual tension. Their sexual tension. This is Preston talking about Doorways after having a bottle of wine. Fucking.
You're right that it's like X-Files of Scully and Mulder had no chemistry. They were just awful. They just didn't get along.
I've seen a couple episodes of X-Files. I was never a really big fan, but you're right. Scully and Mulder needed to be they needed that.
They got lucky.
It lives and dies on their chemistry. Mm-hmm. It really does.
And I mean, it's funny because the show that kicks this off the air is Lois and Clark, which is another show that depends on the chemistry of the two characters. And I think that they do establish good chemistry in that show. I don't know if you guys ever saw Lois and Clark.
No.
Trey didn't know the fucking show existed. But
hey, calling me out.
Lois and Clark. First of all,
Lois and Clark. Are you talking about the one with Dean Cain?
Yeah, Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was so beautiful. I mean, she's, but Dean Cain, I mean, I have mixed feelings. Like, Dean Cain is now like right-wing crazy dude, but like, he did the perfect, like, innocent Clark Kent dude, during the show. And she was a perfect Lois. I don't know if there's been a better Lois. I mean, everybody loves...
Better than the one from Superman, the movie?
The one from the Superman, the movie, like, people... She's great. She is. But Terry Hatcher was really great. She was a really great Lois Lane. She was really good. She had the perfect level of sass, so she was great. It was good. It was an okay show with, like, really good chemistry between these two characters. They both did a really good job. Though the show itself was it wouldn't have made it as long as it did without their chemistry, because the show itself was kind of crap. But, like, their chemistry was good. This show...
This shows, like, it's not enough in any department. Like, there's not enough, like, budget, even though there's a pretty big budget for TV at this time, and there's not enough chemistry between the actors. The scenarios are not super interesting, not as interesting as maybe they could be. Like, yeah, George. Oh,
like,
George.
even the premise of a parallel world where everything, like, kind of went the same, but 20 years ago we lost oil and plastic. That's interesting, but if I'm going to go to a parallel world,
they don't really do anything that
crazy.
Like, pushes or explores that world too much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not that interesting. I need something more drastic.
But I'm saying, like, in their world where there's no plastic or oil, okay, they essentially drink beer at a bar. then some dudes come and try to, like, take their money with machine guns. And yes, they're riding bicycles, but would it have been any different if they drove up on motorcycles? No. Like, so they drink at a bar, and then some dudes come up with machine guns and try to take all their money. And then they go to a hospital, but they fly there by a balloon. Like,
so what that tells us is that civilization hasn't really collapsed, but it's regressing a little because the government is still doing stuff.
But I'm saying, like, you don't really explore the world. Like, had they been in a like, bicycle chase scene, or something, like, where the world is being, you're exploring and pushing the limits of that world, then I'd understand. But they don't, or if there was a balloon fight, like, they both go up in balloons and they have to, like, battle each other in balloons, or they're on skis or something, like, something where the world the thing is the world pushes them into a machine gun fight. Well, there's machine guns in our world and there's machine guns in their world. There's no difference. So, like, why am I in this alternate world?
Right. Like, they don't utilize the concept. They utilize the concept that they've set up. Like, it's like, okay, we go to a world where Hitler won and Nazis are owning America or something like that.
And then you hang out at a bar, and then you fight some goons on the highway. And you're like, well, why does it matter that
we go to a hospital?
Like, it doesn't matter at all. It's just
like, you need to go to like a camp or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, you need to see, like, how the world.
I know how the world is different and why that affects our characters and why it's difficult and challenging for our characters to live in this world because it's alternate. Like, I'm so used to, like, cars, and we don't have a car. Well, we've got horses and hot air balloons, so it doesn't matter. Oh, okay.
Let me throw a curveball at you. I know Nazis is kind of cliche, but what if they go to a Nazi world but the Nazis are really friendly, just not to Jews, of course. But then we see Red Foreman, but he's a Nazi.
We call that Kansas.
Thank you. But we see Red, and he's a Nazi, but he's really nice to our protagonist. So it's kind of like conflicting, like, you're a Nazi, you're evil, piece of shit, but at the same time, you're helping us and you're nice. Audience is a little conflicted. Even though I know Nazi stuff is cliche.
You're describing a Quantum Leap episode, actually, dude.
Really? Really? Oh, shit.
There's a Quantum Leap episode where Sam warps into a clan member. Oh. But he's actually secretly not a clan member. He's actually for equal rights, but like all of his clan like members are like really caring and nice to each other. And they're like, oh, my crop isn't coming in. It's like, we'll all come down and help out. You know, like this is what we do. We stick together. And it's like, it like eats Sam up alive that they're like good people to each other. Despite being like absolute horrible.
Despite yelling the N-word. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So you've described an episode of Quantum Leap.
You're describing an episode when it's like living in fucking Kansas, because every other day I'll meet someone who's like incredibly nice, like and then
they're like thank good you're not a fucking immigrant, and you're like
and then they'll get in their car and as they drive away you see the MAGA sticker, you're like fuck.
Like you're such a nice boy, we gotta keep them immigrants out of here, right? And you're like
that's right.
Oh my god,
build that fence, build that wall. Yeah.
Oh man, this was Doorways, and this was me drinking a fucking bottle of wine.
Let me see the bottle. Let me see this. Hide the label.
What?
I asked Twitter.
This is how it is. You can see it. It's like 3/4. I drank 3/4 of this bottle watching this fucking trash.
People are arguing about Doorways now. I posted the Mount Rushmore thing, asking people if they can identify all the faces on it, and nobody can identify the two other ones. Like they messed up. They fucked up.
Oh my god! It's just there's so many things.
By the way,
2 years of his fucking life on this, man. George spent 2 years of his life on this.
Trey, because you mentioned it, I remember how people were giving you so much shit for saying that George is a sci-fi writer, yet they know nothing about George R.R. Martin. You remember that?
Oh,
people were giving you a shit for saying that George is a sci-fi writer?
Yeah. You don't remember
I remember this. Yeah, I remember. What was the situation that, like, you made a statement that Twitter George, back in the day.
Last year, you made a statement that George is more of a sci-fi writer than a fantasy writer, or something to that effect. Yes.
And I was talking about Elden Ring. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you were correct.
That George doesn't write like Elden Ring. Like typically he does not write an Elden Ring like world. Like that's something he just doesn't do, and I think it's hard for him because he just doesn't do it that often.
Yeah.
And of course, idiots who don't know anything that George has ever done before beyond Ice and Fire, like just came down on you. They have no idea what they're talking about.
Oh yeah.
And
they're like that. You sound ridiculous that you think George R. Martin's a sci-fi author. Like he's the one that wrote Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire. And it's like, well, yeah, he also did overwhelming majority of other stuff.
You're like, motherfucker, do you know who I am? I'm Trey the motherfucking explainer. You think I don't know like what fucking George R. Martin has written?
I've read this shit. I've read
everything except for red, tunnels. White, and fucking blue. The that's the only one I think. Fucking
I've read all that 1,000 Worlds. I've mapped it out, the timeline. I was trying to figure out if there is more in the world.
There are a lot of people, specifically religious people that read A Song of Ice and Fire, and they wonder about like if the gods are real and if they have powers in this world. And it's like I try to tell them like, okay, George is an atheist and he's literally never written a story where there was a god in it, except for like one small short story called like Are You Afraid of the Dark or something? Children.
Yeah.
When he was very young, like he just doesn't put gods in stories. Like there are no gods in stories. So like, you know, I'm not 100% sure, but I am 99.9% sure that the gods are not real in A Song of Ice and Fire. Like I am really fucking confident about this based on everything that George has ever written his entire life and his personal beliefs. And then people are like, well, you don't know what you're fucking talking about. You don't know. It's a fucking fantasy book. I mean, in Lord of the Rings, there's a god, and you're like,
Well, and that's the thing too, is that when you do that and you look at all the stories that he has, that's where religion is a lie, or that magic or something spiritual is just a misunderstanding of something scientific, you can go down a long ass list like of all the stories where that's happened. And you can't, in the opposite, you can't do the opposite. Like, it's like you'll get one or two stories if you try to do the opposite. So like his bread and butter is that he loves having magic turn out to be science, that it's misunderstood, or that religion's a fraud and that there's a conspiracy and stuff. He loves that. And they just don't read his stuff because you're like,
and it's like, yes, people change and they write different things, but at the same time, these were all of his formative years. And you're like, do you think like some dude in his 60s and 70s is changing his mind? I mean, people in the 60s and 70s sometimes do change their mind, but not often. You're usually pretty set in your ways, and you're set in your like what you think like at that point. So,
and I don't know. We've seen how little he's changed and how much he just recycles old material too. Like he loves, like, I don't know.
So when you this is random, but like when you're watching the Dunk and Egg video, and I'm like, and we've seen this before. It was in a story called Bitter Blooms, where you're like, oh, there we go.
Like, where she's trying to bury her father lover, and
I mean, he does it a lot better in The Hedge Knight. Like, he refines it, and it's like such a better written story, actually, like going back, but it's still the same fucking beginning. He recycled it. We just find the beginning of a Game of Thrones is recycled from a wild card story, so it's fine. But
and there's so many characters, like I think the Hound is a better character than Brett and Braith and stuff like that. I don't know. Yeah, like there's like all these recycled stuff, or that Damon, like that. I was going to say Sour Billy, but Sour Billy's a really fucking good character.
No, there's no one better than Sour Billy. But I would say that like Ramsay's a better character than Damon Julian. You know.
Yes, yeah. But like, Euron's a better character than Damon Julian. Yeah.
I don't think anybody's better than Sour Billy. Sour Billy is a really fucking masterful character, and I don't think you can get much better than that.
Because I'm trying to think of like anti-heroes that he's written.
Theon, I mean, would you say that Theon is a successor to Sour Billy in some ways? But like
in some ways, but he doesn't beat Sour Billy's just so pathetic.
Yeah, I mean, Theon's a great fucking character, but like Sour Billy is probably one of, I mean, is he the best character that George R. R. Martin's ever written? That's a question. That's a fucking post right there. Is Sour Billy the best character that George R. R. Martin's ever written? I don't know.
I would.
Trey, please post that and watch how many people go, which chapter in Ice and Fire does he appear in? Like, what? I don't recall this character.
Do you mean Sour Alan?
No, Sour Billy. Sour Billy. He's an evil racist.
Who's a better character, Sour Billy or Cat?
Oh boy, the response on that's gonna ruin me. Oh my gosh. I was at a party and I met somebody that's really into Song of Ice and Fire. Like, he was super, super into it, and it took me off guard, and we started talking about our Song of Ice and Fire for like an hour or something. And I think he asked me who's my favorite POV character, and I said Victorian, and he was like, wow, that's fucked up. Like, he was like, you're weird. Like, he stopped talking to me after that, and I was like, no, I just love how like stupid he is, and like
they're really well written. They're really well written chapters, the Victorian chapters. Like so now with the fanfic, I love how we're just fucking like chatting about random shit at this point. But like having now I've really been focusing on the structure of how George writes paragraphs, how he phrases things, and it's really fascinating because for instance, when you take writing classes, or if you read things about how to be a good writer, they'll say things like, okay, amateur writers do things like they overuse adjectives and adverbs. You know, amateur writers have really long sentences and things like that. amateur writers start the sentences the same way every time. And when you read a Sansa chapter, George purposely fucking, even though they're beautiful chapters, he purposely writes Sansa chapters like a writing amateur. Like he uses way too many adverbs, way too many adjectives. It's really incredible. Like the way he writes a Sansa chapter. Because you're like, oh, like, it's almost like he's mocking people because he's like, you think this is a way a bad writer will write? Well, I'm going to write that way. And he writes that way, but it does give off, it's beautiful, but it gives off a juvenile feeling because he's overusing adverbs and adjectives, because only young writers and inexperienced writers do that. Victorian chapters are the tightest, most exciting, like well-written chapters he has, where it's just like, it's so precise, and every chapter is just, every line is boom, 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 boom. And you're moving the action forward simply and just in a very concise, exciting way. And so I understand, like, in a writing sense, I think Victorian chapters are the best written in the craft sense. On average, I would say that, in my personal opinion, Aeron chapters are the best of all of them.
Oh, yeah.
But there's so few that it's like, okay, well, you know, you wrote 3 Aeron chapters and 2 are fucking masterpieces. Well, I guess 2/3 of Aeron is a fucking masterpiece. But I understand why Victorian would be a favorite fucking POV. They're so well written. They're so exciting.
Oh yeah. And I don't know, he's just like such a fun character to deal with too, because he's so stupid but also like cruel and like and sadistic. But
you also feel sorry for him because he's had such a fucking hard life.
And he's insecure and pathetic in a way. Yeah.
Oh my god. I mean, that's why I also love the like Theon chapters too. But yeah, man.
Yeah, George is at his best when he's writing losers. Like I don't know. Like
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it might be that because we're losers and we're reading it and we connect, or like, that he's a loser and so he writes it better. I don't know, or all of the above. That it's loser communicating to loser, so we're like, oh, this is perfect. You
know? Like, oh my gosh! Like I'm thinking. I kind of like Brienne. I don't know. Somebody was posted that bit of Brienne where she's talking to Nimble Dick's dead body, and it's like I'm sorry, I couldn't trust you. I forgot how to do that. And you're like, oh
yeah. Did you notice that her talking to Nimble Dick is a lot like Dunk talking to fucking Arlen Pennytree?
Oh yeah. That's true. George R. Martin's got his recycled burying somebody you regret and miss. Oh boy!
You speak to them in a overly concise way that's clearly hiding like more of your emotions. You know, I'm sorry you died, sir. You're like, you know that there's so much more that's boiling underneath, but he's not actually saying it in the same way that like Brienne is like, you know, tossing in a gold coin.
Now I'm thinking more about like other burial scenes in this series. Are there any other ones? God,
are there any other?
I hope there's not, because they're gonna just all be the same. Because you're
right, it's so much the same. Because it's like in Dunk and Egg, it's very important that he doesn't leave the sword. He thinks he ought to leave the sword, but he doesn't have the money to leave the sword, right? But like, there's meaning in the object that he's leaving or not leaving. And Brienne, she throws in the gold dragon. Like, she has the money, but you know, whether she leaves it or not doesn't matter. But it's like that object, giving or not giving an object in death, being, you know, metaphorical and representing something in life. You know, like Arlen Pennytree was a true knight, and he ought have buried the sword with him, but he couldn't because Dunk is poor, you know. But in a way, that's exactly the same as Brienne throwing in the gold dragon. You know, it's like that, you know, I'm honoring you thing in your death, and I'm giving you this object that means a lot, you know. It's it's the same fucking thing. Fucking nimble dick and Arlen Pennytree.
Oh, George, this is so funny seeing all the everything George has touched. I don't know you. Oh,
I mean, yeah, it's hilarious. It's hilarious at this point because there's no. Carmine, did you watch my Hedge Knight video? You've read Hedge Knight, yeah?
Yes, I've gone through all three stories. I like the third one the best.
Okay, well, the third one has the most going on. I think originally I liked Sworn Sword the best. But now that I'm going through Hedge Knight again, I'm like, wow, George spent a lot of fucking time on Hedge Knight. And I didn't realize he spent a lot of time on Hedge Knight until I started going slowly through it. And I'm like, fuck. He really thought about this story a lot. And well, you know. But
I kind of wish the story
video, it's okay.
I kind of wish the story wasn't spoiled for me ahead of time for Hedge Knight, because for years I'd never read Hedge Knight, but I knew what happened in it, you know, through people would talk about what happened in it. But you're right. I like it more than I like the second one. The second one is fine. It's just, for me, it's Mystery Knight, then Hedge Knight, then Sworn Sword.
I think when I read Sworn Sword, I liked it because there was the romance in it, or the sexual tension in it. I think it's probably George's best story with regards to sexual tension. I can't think of like where he's captured sexual tension as well than the Sworn Sword. The Hedge Knight, now that I'm reading it, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize it, but like this is about a dude being sad that his dad died. And like I didn't reading it the first time, you're like, oh, you know, Arlen Pennytree, he's squiring for this guy. And only later do you realize, like, no, he didn't just squire for the guy. It was his fucking dad. Like, you know, like the guy was the only father figure in his life from the age of 5. Okay. This is his dad died. And like he's gotta like, and everything that he knows in life and who he is based on who Arlen Pennytree is. And like I'm reinterpreting the story now, going slowly, and I didn't think about it. I think the first couple times I'd read it, that like, oh, it's all about it's much more about Arlen than I thought it was. Now kind of realize, like rereading it and being like, oh fuck, this is a lot about Arlen. Oh well.
You know, a lot of that is going to really appear on screen. You know that, right? Because a lot of Dunk's thoughts about Arlen, I mean, they're in her monologue stuff, so obviously you're not going to get that on TV.
Which is sad,
I never.
man. Yeah, I wonder about that.
I never interpret, like, until I watched your video, I never interpreted how much of the story is about like fatherhood and like masculinity and I don't know, like what it means to be a good man and stuff. Like I never interpret, and the more I think about it, the more I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right.
Right, because you got to go like. I think the first time through, you're not like thinking about the structure of the story and the parallels and how it all goes together. You're just like, it's ice and fire. So you're like, is there going to be some hidden fucking Blackfire shit? What's going on? Or there's some like, is there a werewood talking to him? Is there going to be a fucking crow going corn? Like, you know, and then in the end, it's just a story about a dude who like lost his dad and is trying to like take on his dad's profession. And then like becomes his dad at the end. Like that's kind of the story, you know, like, right? Because he becomes Arlen Pennytree at the end. Like that's it, right? You know, so
it's gonna go over the audience's head. It's gonna nobody's gonna get that interpretation. Not even the producers of the show.
Now you're making me really sad because you're right.
No, I'm sorry.
Because you can't. You're right that it's like so much is in the story with the inner monologue. Like, are they even going to get that the fact that he's not a knight, which is a really fucking important plot point?
So there's fans that read the book that don't get that point.
Yeah,
and that will argue with you. It's like, no, of course he's a knight. He knighted him before he died.
I mean, it's funny because I don't think I caught it the first time, but once somebody pointed it out to me, I was like, oh, right. No, that's dumb. I'm sorry. Of course he's not a knight. That's ridiculous. now reading it, I'm like, reading it slowly, I'm like, well, that's fucking obvious that he's not a knight. Like, how could I ever have thought he was a knight?
And it's also like kind of genius that he's not a knight. That like,
oh, absolutely,
being a knight isn't based on like somebody conferring it onto you. It's you like being it, like just becoming. Like I don't know. It gets back into like Brienne not really being a knight, but she's like more of a knight
which
than
also like
else.
pisses me off about like Jon Snow being trueborn or something. Like, it doesn't fucking matter, right? Jon Snow's the hero and he's a good person, even though he's a bastard. If you're like suddenly telling me, well, actually, he was secretly not a bastard. Like, you're like, well, okay, I guess now I can go back to believing that bastards are bad people. Like, I don't
know. And there's so many people that miss those points. Like, there's people that argue like, over now that hot D's become like a big thing that it gets like the average person in. There's people like, oh, like her children are bastards, so therefore they can't rule. They shouldn't rule. Like, bastards are worth less. Like, like you're missing the whole fucking point.
You're missing
that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody's a bastard.
It's divine right.
Are they a good person?
Are you arguing for divine right? Like,
they argue for divine right, and that like, yeah, they're born out of they're not actually your husband's children, so therefore they shouldn't be able to rule and stuff. And like there's fans of Hot D. I've talked to them. I've met them that argue this stuff. They're like, and it's based primarily on like, this actor's hot, I think, basically is what they're arguing or something like that. Like, it's very high school cliquey kind of like thing. It's stupid. You're missing the whole point of the source material. Yes. I don't know.
I mean, look, I'm in love with I'm in love with Olivia Cooke as much as the next person, okay? But her character's horrible. like all right, like Olivia Cooke, she may be the most beautiful woman on the planet, but Alicent is a horrible character. Like, it's fine.
Horrible in the sense horribly written, or horrible as a person?
Both.
Real quick, before you log off, did you see the controversy going down lately? I don't know, Trey. I don't know if you saw it on social.
On what? What's going
with
on?
Sarah Hess. So Dragon Demands tags me in something, and he goes, "What the fuck is going on with people trying to make Sarah Hess into Kathleen Kennedy? What's going on with this?" So Sarah Hess was on a panel with some of the actors and actresses, and Sarah Hess made a joke about how Rhaenyra is an awful person to a Linda Massey, and it's an innocuous comment. Who cares? And of course, all the Gen Zs come out of the open just to bash Sarah Hess and try to like talk shit on her. And I'm like, guys, relax. Like, what the fuck? And Dragon Defense tags me. He's like, what's going on here? And I basically tell him, like, look, it's a bunch of losers and weirdos in their 20s who, they need women as like a target because they either have mommy issues or the hot chick in high school rejected them. And Hot D somehow is becoming more toxic than Game of Thrones ever was, which is weird.
By far.
Because
far.
We don't have the same level of grifters the Star Wars fandom does. It's so weird. Like, we don't have that. Not yet, at least.
Right. I mean, they're bleeding in now, right? I mean, it's weird,
I haven't seen that many.
Like the fully grown men complaining about Snow White for some reason. It's like, are you complaining about this? You're talking about a movie for little girls. Like, what are you fucking like doing? Like, this is a movie for little girls. Like honestly, like girls that are 6 years old. Like, what are you who want to dress up like princesses are going to go see this? Like, what are you doing? You're a 45-year-old man. Like, why are you fucking caring about this movie for a 6-year-old girl?
So for Hot D, it's the reverse. It's a lot of like younger people who never grew up with Game of Thrones. They just discovered House of the Dragon last week. And Trey, I do apologize to you before I'm about to say this. When it comes to Ice and Fire conversations, anybody under the age of 25, I automatically tune out because you have nothing to tell me. No, Trey, I know you're 25, Trey, right?
I'm almost. I got another month.
He's got a cloak of.
You're an exception.
Cloak of
you're one of the
maturity.
Good ones.
He wears a +5 cloak of maturity, and so we can treat him like 30-something.
Me and Trey did a video last year about how George accidentally misgendered Emma Darcy, and like there were a bunch of these like 21-year-olds like clamming for George's head to be cut off because he did that.
Remember when they announced the casting for Hedge Knight, and there was like
people
complaining about like a guy that was Dornish, right? And they whitewashed him. They whitewashed him,
Preston.
I cannot, and like they're
Hedge
like, I
Knight is
cannot
racist.
connect to this character. I used to really love and connect with this character, and I'm like, that character had like 3 lines in the entire Duncan Egg story. What the fuck are you talking about?
What
like,
was it?
What are
It
you
was,
talking about?
Which character was
Egg's
it?
uncle. Egg's uncle.
Is it?
It's
Egg's
Tansel Tootal's uncle.
No, Baylor.
No, is it Breakspear? It's Breakspear.
Breakspear.
Oh, it's Breakspear.
Yeah. And it's
Oh,
like,
so
who,
he's like,
who the fuck has an
he's half
attachment to
Dornish.
Breakspear? Yes.
So, I mean, forgetting that like people from Spain are still pretty white. Okay. And even if you're saying that like the Dornish are based on Spain, but people from Spain are pretty fucking white. And so he's half from somebody who's from Spain who's still pretty fucking white. Oh, man.
Trey,
and just like, how can you get attached to Breakspear? Breakspear is barely a character in the story. He's more of just a, I don't know, he just shows up.
I don't know, Trey.
I really connected with that piece of brain that fell out of the back of his head.
Preston, let's ask Preston, Trey. Preston, what's up with Alardim? And Trey, do you know about the new one? The new character?
Yes, I was watching the stream. What
Vylar?
Gosh, the guy that
the Lannister guard, Vylar.
Gosh. Oh, Vylar. Yeah. There's Vylar, and then there's the other guy that was like a Night's Watch guy that was sent out to go after
Stone
Renly.
Snake.
Yeah.
No, not Stone Snake.
No. There's the fuck. He was sent to talk to Renly and disappeared. He's never appeared in the story again.
Oh,
I love that we're finding more and more of these little characters, and we're
I love them, like these lost characters. Alistair Thorne got sent to King's Landing, and then a different guy got sent to go to Renly, and he disappeared from the story, and he's never talked about again. And fucking, I forgot. Somebody asked me on stream about him last week, and I totally like the name came up, and I was like, oh right, that motherfucker. His mom is a Fossaway. Green.
That's so weird. Why you bring that up? That's so weird.
Well, it's brought up because that chapter was written around the same time as as the
Arnell.
That's it. That's the only reason.
John
1 A Clash of Kings is written around the same time as. This is why like Maester Aemon's backstory is in there, like ridiculously. Like, let me explain everyone in Maester Aemon's family tree. You're like, really? Why is that again? Well, because I just wrote this story called The Hedge Knight.
Arnell, as sent as an ambassador to Renly, it is unknown if he reaches the destination before Renly's death, nor what has happened to him since.
His name's Arnell. Fucking Arnell.
Arnell, like, that's awesome. I don't know. I love how there's so many lost little characters.
And don't confuse him with Goldcloak Arneld during the Battle of Blackwater. Yeah, there's a Goldcloak called Arneld. Don't confuse him with that guy.
Arneld, like past tense. Oh my gosh. Stone Snake is coming back. Stone Snake is coming back with Alistair Thorne.
I don't know. No. I mean, in the fanfic, I have a plan for Alistair Thorne. I have not come up with what to do with Stone Snake. I don't know how to bring him back. I mean, I feel like he needs to be brought back, but like
Stone Snake runs out of the tunnels underneath the wall, Goran's way, and he's like, "They're coming! They're here!"
And everyone's like, "Who are you?" I'm Stone Snake from the Shadow Tower. I was part of this very bad plot late in the Clash of Kings in the Jon story that doesn't make any fucking sense. But like, remember me? Like, what?
We discussed what to do with Stone Snake before, because remember a couple months ago we were talking about how there's going to be chaos at the wall. Satin may die after Jon.
Satin's dying.
Satin may die. Tormund may die because the Night's Watch mutineers are going to like bar the doors where all the wildling chiefs are and set it on fire.
We'll see. I mean, we're probably doing Melisandre after Davos, so it's coming. It's I see I'm either doing Melisandre or I'm doing Daenerys. It's 2 very difficult chapters, and it's like, which difficult chapter do I want to tackle? So I guess.
Do you want me to resend you the map our friend Kenny drew up for you of the Night's Watch of Castle Black?
Yeah, that was a good map. Yeah.
I got you.
But man, oh man. I'm finishing this whole fucking bottle for fucking doorways. This is it, man. See that?
Oh my god!
Our doorways.
So about doorways. What are the odds that HBO might reboot that for George?
0.
Zero, not everyone.
Zero.
They did that with Night Flyers. They did it with. Does Doorways fall under ABC's jurisdiction still, or?
So I've been these Collider interviews with George have been trickling out, and they're brutal.
Are they done yet? I'm waiting for them to all be out so I can make a video.
Oh my god, they're so brutal. There's one that came out today. There's
Boring
one that
brutal?
came out today where the woman asks, "So, I want to ask you what it's like to work with Ryan Condal."
Oh shit!
Oh boy,
George's
don't ask
answer.
that.
Well, I work with a lot of people. For example, I've been working with this person, Issa Bloodoff, with Dunkin' Egg. And he begins to talk about Dunkin' Egg. And you're like, oh, God. All the comments are like, she asked him about Ryan Condal. And he did not want to talk about Ryan Condal. Like,
what did I tell you? What have I been saying?
I know. I'm completely like, he fucking hates Ryan Condal. I didn't realize
what have I been saying?
Hates Ryan Condal.
Yep.
Over what?
Trey,
I don't understand why he hates him so much over the.
He's made it very clear why. Trey, I don't know if you've been following on my channel, but I've been releasing videos of like George just like slighting Ryan Condal here and there. And Preston hits me up and he goes, at first I was like, I don't know, but now I'm like, okay.
Yeah, now it's too many. It's too many straws that have broken the camel's back. He fucking hates Ryan Condal.
It's because
I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's
really
fair.
that. So
I mean, I think Ryan Condal is fucked up with House of the Dragon, but I think he's like, but I think the things that George is pissed about are not the reason he should be pissed at Ryan Condal. Like,
if you're gonna make a video on this,
I'm pissed at Ryan Condal for fucking daggers and prophecy, and just being like, oh god, like don't go down the fucking daggers and prophecy, like don't do it. George is pissed because like he eliminated fucking Maelor. Like, who fucking cares? You know?
No. It's not about Maelor. It's about he feels as though Ryan Condal is veering too far off, and I think he got burned. Maybe he got burned on Game of Thrones. That's still a verdict we need to come to.
He doesn't seem pissed at D&D though. It's so weird.
I know. I made that video. Like I don't know if you saw that video, Trey, but maybe with Dave and Dan, they followed his template. Maybe that's probably why. Who knows? With Ryan Condal,
the longer I'm going on, the more I believe that Dave and Dan actually followed George pretty closely. Like I'm like,
I have a whole video on it, like how the original George template maybe spoiled Game of Thrones. But the problem with Ryan Condal is, I think George was trying to tell him how to do things, and Condal just dismissed him. And George took that as huge disrespect. As an accomplished author, huge disrespect. Preston, let's say you know how to make pizzas. You've been making pizzas for 30 years. Here I am, a new guy telling you how to make pizzas. And you're trying to tell me how to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I got it. You would take that as disrespect. Look, I'm a writer. I've been doing this for 50 years before you were fucking born.
And I think there's a very big difference between, like, even if D&D did the exact same thing, George had not yet achieved like I did fucking Game of Thrones, because D&D were with him the whole time, right? So they're kind of on the same level. D&D and George R.R. Martin are rising up. So if D&D dissed George hasn't yet like achieved the whole series and all of the greatness yet. And plus they're with him. While like now I'm the Game of Thrones guy, and now Ryan Condal is this fucking down here. And he's trying to tell me what to do. I think there's, something like that.
It's ego. I do want to tell you, though, be careful, because me and Trey covered Toxic Butterflies, and we got a litany of hate on that one, because people love that George is calling out Hollywood for not sticking to the source material. And those people do have a point. Like, sometimes when Hollywood tries to do its own thing, Witcher, it goes bad. And people hate that
It's a
shit.
flip of a coin, though, man. A good story is a good story. Look, one of the greatest movies that I believe exists, Starship Troopers, is a vast, vast veering from the source material, and it's a direct mockery and criticism of the source material.
Oh God, yeah.
And I think Starship Troopers is incredible. I think it is incredible. And if they'd stuck to the source material, it would be a shit movie. But instead it's genius. That's a fucking movie, man.
We had this discussion briefly.
Yeah.
Change is good only when it turns out to be good. Change is bad. Change is bad when it ends up being bad. You know, like for example, Arya with Tywin wasn't in the books. That's a change, but it was good. Everybody liked it.
Or the what's it called? I don't know, show of a series in the throne room and stuff.
So this is what fucking. By the way, this is what pisses me off. I think this is something where George is in the wrong about. So George will go around praising his one example on things that House of the Dragon did better than him is King Viserys, right? And he's like, oh, and he gives it all up to Paddy Constantine that it was such a great acting job. And it's like, first of all, it's more than that. They fucking wrote a plot with lines and dialogue for an entire season for him that he did. It wasn't just they weren't just letting Paddy off into a field and being like, do your thing. And he's like, I'm genius. No, he fucking had fucking lines and a story. The entire wound that wouldn't heal storyline went the whole season and was quite brilliant. You know, it was a really well-written storyline. So if you're gonna compliment Viserys, you have to compliment everything. You have to compliment all of the writers and the showrunners and Ryan Condal himself, who wrote a lot of those fucking scripts about the Paddy, the Viserys plot. But instead he's like, no, I'm going to give it all to Paddy. Somehow Paddy fucking created that whole thing by him fucking self. It's no, he didn't, dude. You got to give Ryan Condal due where Ryan Condal's due.
Well, he has. He praised episode 1, despite Maelor the Missing. He praised episode 2. Yeah, he didn't say anything about episode 3. He praised episode 4. But according to that person that I'm sorry if you hear that background noise. My cat is ridiculous. According to the person who George was hanging out with in the UK, I did a whole video on this. They were saying how George has attempted to tell the writing staff how to proceed going forward, and judging by what they were alluding to, it seemed like the writing staff, and maybe Ryan Condal, maybe Sarah Hess, maybe everybody, maybe HBO, who knows, it seemed like they were just telling him that yeah, we got it, don't worry about it, and he doesn't like where it's going. So it's a tricky situation that requires a lot of nuance. But on the internet, nuance, well, that goes to die. And you have idiotic people who love to comment on shit when they don't know what they're talking about. Like what happened with Trey and, saying George is a sci-fi writer. People got upset with Trey and they're wrong.
Yeah.
George is a sci-fi writer. So
he is.
George is a sci-fi writer.
Majority of his, even A Song of Ice and Fire is written in a lot of sci-fi ways. I don't know.
I mean, the fact that it's been probably 8 years since I put forward the idea that George, besides telepathy, telekinesis, and you can interpret the story that way, and I mean it's still a pretty sound theory. I don't what you got, shadow babies. That's about it.
Wait, is this a Collider video that just came out?
Yeah.
Let me see. I've been waiting for all the Collider videos to come out, so I don't have to do 37 videos on this. But...
It's 37 Collider videos, but they're each 3 minutes.
Okay.
But it's
why would they allow her to ask that question to George?
President, which one is it? Is it George R. Martin reveals his dream project and it's got nothing to do with Westeros, or is that another one?
It's that one. The one that came out.
Okay.
Even though that sounds like the one that came out 5 days ago, it's the one that came out today or yesterday that's entitled that. Yeah.
Top comment, Porkmaster. What's it like working with Ryan Condal? I'm going to talk about anything other than that.
That's the video. That's the video. It's painful to watch, man. It's painful to watch. Because it's just she asked that question, and it's so very obvious that he does not want to talk about Ryan Condal. Like it's just.
By the way,
it's a very clear question. Like, what's it like to watch to work with him?
I think Collider knew what they were doing when they asked that question. Have you checked Not a Blog recently?
There's nothing new today.
Exactly.
That's not a blog.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. They've been doing pre-production interviews and whatnot for House of the Dragon Season 3. George has said nothing about it. He hasn't even said anything about In the Lost Lands. Hasn't blogged about it once. Nothing. Nothing from his minions either. Nothing.
I mean, that means he's working. That means he's working.
Oh, Trey, my sweet summer child.
It means he's sitting there like finishing Dream of Spring right now. It's like I've got this really fucking genius ending. In my Sansa point of view. I just finished a Sansa point of view. Fourth to last chapter. Then I move on to my Cersei chapter. Yeah, no, it's not.
I had an idea for a great April Fool's joke, which would be like the title of the video would be live footage of George R.R. Martin writing, and it's him just doing everything but that, like swimming in the pool, just clipping his nails.
People have done that. I've seen that before.
That's like a bit on
Conan O'Brien.
On a show on Conan O'Brien, right? Yeah.
I wanted to do something like that, but I feel like people would say that would be mean, and it's kind of mean, at this point, you know. Let him live.
He's living fine, dude. He's living fine. Okay? He's got $500 million. It's okay. It's okay. Okay? He got the Lost Lands out. Look, he's got... people feel bad. Like, look. I love George. Obviously, like, I've read everything by him. But he got $500 million. He got his Game of Thrones series. He got Doorways made. He got fucking In the Lost Lands made. He got
he's a household
the Ugly
name.
Chickens made. Name. He got Mary Margaret Steam Engine made. You know, he's got. I mean, what else do you want? What else? What else would you want?
Pear-Shaped Man miniseries.
He's got Pear-Shaped Man published. He got
Meat House Man.
Meat House Man published. He got Songs Dead Men Sing.
By the way, Meat House Man,
he got that published.
Meat House Man would have to be an adaptation on A24.
He got like 65 Wild Cards books published. He revamped that railroad in Santa Fe. He opened that bar.
The
got
bar.
That theater. Got the theater.
You know about that, Trey? The bar?
I heard about this bar. It seats like 12 people or something like that. It's
Milk
like
of the Poppy. I was telling Preston, Trey, I don't know if you've ever seen American Psycho. Have you? With Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Dude, remember how like Christian Bale is talking to Jared Leto and they're like, we're going to go to Dorsia. It's an actual real restaurant in New York City. So people will look it up on Google reviews and make references to the film. I'm expecting that to happen like with Milk of the Poppy. You know? Service was okay, but 1 out of 5, no wins. Something like that.
I mean, every comment's going to be worst wins.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Come on, George.
I mean, he's doing fine. Okay. Some people don't need pity. Like George, like it's weird that people like want to pity George R. R. Martin. George R. R. Martin's doing fine. Okay. Like
because there's so many authors that never got success in their lifetime at all. Like that just never got any success. Yeah, it could be like Edgar Allan Poe. He could have died in an alley somewhere or whatever.
It's true. It's true. David Foster Wallace and just be like depressed his entire fucking life.
Preston, I love. There was a comment. You said something about George. The same thing you said about George right now. You said about George a while ago. There was a comment in your comment section. I'm trying to find it. I love it. It was be like, yeah, Preston's talking all that shit, but when Dave and Dan adapt his book and they change up everything, he's gonna Preston's Toxic Butterfly.
Oh, I would. What's funny is that I would live for that, man. I would love that. Like you adapt my book and it's completely different. I'd be like, that's a great experience. I mean, it's kind of like, so like the Scotty doesn't know scene from Eurotrip, and he's just like Scotty's just sitting there like, like it's just so bad. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Get those royalty checks. It's fine. You know you're gonna have to do a sequel to that book if it sells really well. You know that, right?
By the way, Trey has agreed to dress in some leather chaps, or is it like a plastic suit or something?
I have a cat suit. I have a cat
Yeah,
suit.
he said that he's gonna dress in a cat suit. So I'm gonna send him a copy of Dreams and Indians.
Signed copy.
And he's gonna be in the cat suit reading the book, and he's gonna post like enjoying Dreams and Indians. Like that's it, you know.
Would you be okay with? I will legitimately do this.
No, I'm totally okay with it. I mean, I'll even let you post it on X. You know?
Oh my god! Heck yeah! Because I've gotten into I've started. I got a message because I started dressing in latex recently. I don't know. It's a thing. I don't know if I should be doing it or not. It's gonna ruin my job opportunities later. But a company has reached out, like a latex, one of the companies I bought stuff with reached out to me. Is like, hey, we'll send you free stuff if you'll model it for us. I was like, wow,
what?
Okay,
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They give me like free latex gloves and stuff. I'm excited. Yeah. And I trust them. I've talked to other people in the kind of community if they're legit, and they're legit. So I was like, wow, all right, I'm getting into it.
All right, man. Who
Are there
knew?
any downsides to wearing a latex suit like that, Trey?
Oh, it's really it's a bitch to get on and bitch to get off. I don't know, you need
By yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah, or even with anybody. You need a lot of gosh, I'm talking about put on latex. You
have cornered the latex amateur archaeology market. It is straight up you.
It's it's really...
when I'm on a dig in latex.
You have to put on baby powder and whatnot to
Yeah. It's mostly for me. It's mostly I'm really skinny and stuff, so it's easier for me than some other people. But yeah, you got to get baby powder on kind of on the legs and then on the arms, so you can slide in, because if not, you'll just bunch up. And then yeah. And it's a pain to clean too. It's because you gotta wash it with soap.
This explains a lot. I mean, in a completely different sense, I spent a lot of time putting pajamas on my sons, and it's remarkably, because I live in a hot, sweaty environment. I'm surprised how difficult it is just putting on a regular cotton pajama on a boy. Just because the skin is just so once it starts sweating and it has oils, it's just so rigid, right? So you got to dry it out with the baby powder.
Yeah, and and it's to prevent it from getting stuck on stuff. Yeah, because you can also use you can use special types of lube, but not all types of lube, because it will eat at the latex and stuff. Latex is very sensitive material, so it's kind of bad that. Oh no, it's a thing. The more I learn about it, I'm like, wow, could we have not made this out of any other material that's more longer lasting?
Because latex also, there's a lot of people that have skin that are sensitive to latex, right?
Right, and there's people who are allergic to it. Yeah, It looks cool. I'll say it. It looks pretty cool. It looks pretty slick and stuff. It's got the Matrix look. But yeah,
I feel like putting that cat suit on, it has to be, not to be gross or anything, but it has to be a strategy, because you have to make sure that you went to the bathroom beforehand. Otherwise, oh my god, taking it off, oh my god.
Yeah. Once you put it on, you're like, I gotta keep this on for a little while until to get pictures or whatever. I've never done much in my cat suit yet, because I'm not hanging out with people. But yes.
So what you're saying is, if I go out on the town and I get mugged, and all of a sudden a lanky man in a latex cat suit beats up my muggers,
is there a place in Kansas for you to go out in latex, Carmine?
Me or Trey?
You live in Kansas. Carmine lives in a large metropolitan. First of all, everything is available in Atlanta. Okay, I guarantee there is a very large latex community in fucking Atlanta, because it's fucking hundreds of thousands of people, and there's so many, there's whatever crazy you're going to be able to find there, right? Because it's a huge metropolitan center. You live in a soybean field Okay, so like, what kind of fucking like, yeah, there's no one there that's going to appreciate your fucking cat suit. Okay,
I'm saying he's gonna be like Batman.
like I understand you're in a college town, but like no, like you're it's like, so you might get like 4 people.
Press the dox me and shit. Well, you see.
I know I'm doxing you crazy.
Carmine, I kind of knew you were out west somewhere. I'm gonna be driving through Kansas this May, so I'm doing a cross country road trip, Carmine. If you want to hang out,
we'll talk.
I'm literally going.
Wait, I thought you did one a while ago. Oh no, that was Golitis. I'm sorry. What are you doing like cross country? Have you? I was thinking about Golitis. Are you gonna maybe go to New Mexico too?
I'm doing a specific route. Like I'm turning it into a video. I'm recreating a race route from a series that has never been done before. Something that me and my old roommate have been wanting to do for years, and there was never a right time for it. And now there kind of.
I thought you were gonna do Bigfoot, something with Bigfoot. That's what your trip was about.
Oh, I've done like several trips lately. I've been traveling a lot, but yeah, this is the big road trip that's going to be like a month. And yeah, I'm going from San Diego to Manhattan by car. And yes, I'm passing through Kansas, like almost the entirety of Kansas. So if I'm passing through, you want to say hi or anything, but I understand if not.
We'll talk privately, but realistically, the most important person you need to meet on this trip is George R.R. Martin. Come on.
I can try to meet George R.R. Martin.
You're our hope. You're our dream for the Harangan
to get the Harangan Mines.
You like wait outside his like house for a week for the Harangan Mind.
I don't think Glytus has ever talked about.
I mean, you're a very short flight to Dominican Republic as well. It's a direct flight to San Domingo.
It's true. Yeah. With Atlanta's a good airport.
No. Every time I fly home, it's either Atlanta. It's you can do Atlanta, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boston, or New York, but no DC. There's no fucking DC San Domingo flight or San Juan. I can do Puerto Rico.
By the way, I was just in DC. I was in DC like last weekend.
Ah, well, I wasn't there. But had I been there,
and it sucked. I was staying with some internet friends or whatever that I've never met before, and it was just like super awkward. It was not. I shouldn't have done it.
First of all, DC is really fun. DC is a fucking incredibly fun town. You would have so much fun if I took you out in DC. But like, even though I haven't really been out in like a decade, I still would be like, I know exactly where to bring you, and you would fucking have a great time. You'd have a fucking incredible time. DC is really fun, but whatever. Yeah, no, like, so every time I fly home, it's like you get to choose your town. So I've been seeing a little bit. Not much, but of like the switch. But by the way, San Juan, Puerto Rico is incredible. I don't know where this joke came from that like Puerto Rico is a floating pile of trash. Like Puerto Rico is fucking incredible. I don't know why people are going on vacation there all the fucking time because it's great. But whatever. But yeah, no, there's direct flights San Domingo, Atlanta, man. Like I'm surprised you're not on a Caribbean island, like considering Atlanta flies everywhere, you can fucking go anywhere. You could be on a Greek island or a Caribbean island every weekend.
I know. I need to take advantage. Like I've been living with my parents for like 2 years, and it's like super, super nice that I've been saving up money, but I haven't been going anywhere. And then I'm like living in Atlanta, so like I could fly anywhere, and I didn't have a job. Like
wait a minute, YouTube. Didn't you go to Greece like a couple months ago?
No, that was a couple of years ago. That was 2023 or something like that.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. Like that's the crazy. And
there's Christopher Columbus shit. If you want to see Christopher Columbus shit here in Dominican Republic,
oh yeah, I've heard about it. They got that big like tower, right? The museum that holds his body or something. The church.
No, his body is in Spain, but his son might be here. But Christopher Columbus's grave is in Spain. Yeah, I've seen it in Spain. But his like son's house is here in the Colonial District.
And they got that like giant cross. It's like a mega cross, right? Or is it a lighthouse? What is it?
There's nothing too big. I mean, nothing's big here. So I think the huge mega cross is in Spain. Or if you're thinking the Sagrada Familia.
What? There's like it's like a crazy mega museum, or maybe it's a different place. Let me see. I don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
I mean, I've been like they have a museum for like Christopher Columbus's son's house here. It's not mega. It's a very humble little thing. There's no mega anything here in Dominican Republic. I'll tell you that. There's nothing mega here.
Yeah, I must be mixing up with something else. That's cool. It's cool. Oh.
The only thing here, there's Colonial District and there's like beaches and shit.
And then there's Preston Jacobs.
And there's Preston Jacobs, and his his kids. And the beans and rice and I mean, it's probably more exciting than Kansas, though. I mean, I'll agree.
Preston hates every single Red Wing state, bro. He hates every single. He has one day. Have Preston give you his whole rant about Cracker Barrel. It's something. No, don't do it. You're gonna get demonetized.
Cracker Barrel. Look. Cracker Barrel. They refill your drink like 45 times when you're at Cracker Barrel. You know what I'm talking about? When's the last time you went to a Cracker Barrel?
One time I hated it.
Trey, when's the last time you went to a Cracker Barrel?
Maybe like a year or something like that.
You've been there much more recently than me. I went there when like maybe 8 years ago. I've been to a Cracker Barrel, 7 or 8 years ago. But I was like, wow, you have refilled my drink 45 times. I like drink the drink. I drink like half a drink, and the woman comes out with like 4 refills, and she's like, "I refilled your drink," and I was like, "I drank like half of it, and you've brought me 4 drinks." Like, it's the American excess kind of like bullshit. But it was very nice. Like Cracker Barrel was a very nice experience, but it's also like complete bullshit, like the whole like Americana bullshit thing. Like, oh, let's go sit on a rocking chair out front and play checkers. Okay, like we'll go inside and buy a Red, White, and Blue Moon like wind chime. Okay, like fuck you. Like it's fucking fake America that never existed. Bullshit.
Wait, I found the thing that I was trying to talk to you about. Faro a Colón, the Columbus Lighthouse. I sent it on Discord. I was trying to describe this thing. I had read about it.
Okay.
Faro a Colón. I was wondering if you've ever been here or seen this building.
Oh, what is this?
It's a historic monument. It was like this big mega project and Santo Domingo. It was like to house Columbus's bones or something.
What?
Yeah.
How did they achieve so much land?
I had read somebody who traveled here and was talking about it, and that it's like a massive wasteful museum. Like it's barely used, and the people that live around it are like, yeah, it's like a stupid eyesore. And like,
so now I've got to fucking this is it. What is this bullshit? So
500th anniversary of Columbus's first voyage, cost $70 million US.
I've got Columbus Lighthouse, Santo Domingo. What is this? I've never heard of this.
That's crazy that you live there and you never heard of this. Oh my gosh, that speaks volumes about it. Because yeah, the author that was writing about it was like, this is a weird,
Pharaoh
wasteful.
a Colón, Santo Domingo Este.
And that it was an example of mega excess and stuff. Yeah, according to Dominican authorities, remains of Christopher Columbus are sheltered at the lighthouse. So they believe that there's a body of Christopher Columbus here.
I specifically went to like the tomb of Columbus in Spain.
Oh no, yeah, that's the thing, is Spanish authorities have proved through DNA tests that the Cathedral of Seville contains the remains of Columbus. So like, whoever's body's in this building, I have no idea who it is. Like they're trying to.
Okay, so
masquerade.
Usually when you go, the thing to see in if you're a tourist is to go to Ciudad Colonial, and this has like the house of Columbus's son, but then there's this entire Pharaoh a Colón museum.
Mm-hmm. I heard it's really big, and it's got like, it was an expedition, like there was an expo for the world, and a whole bunch of countries donated their artifacts and stuff. And like Japanese people donated like samurai armor, Peru donated moche pots and stuff, and then America donated 9/11 newspapers and stuff. Like it was super, super weird. It's
all right, I'm gonna try to go to this. Is it open?
You don't have to. I was just wondering if.
No, I mean I have to at some point. Like I'm fucking living here. I've got to see all the fucking sites before I leave, right?
I've heard that it's very big. It's just massive.
I mean, it looks insane.
Yeah. And that nobody visits it. Nobody visits it. It was this big mega project that cost $70 million, and they were wanting it to be like a tourist thing, like that the whole world comes to visit.
It's right near the Colonial District. What the fuck? Now
it was supposed to like, it was supposed to be a lighthouse. It's a lighthouse that doesn't really function as a lighthouse because it was originally supposed to like light up like crazy, and you can see it from across the.
I mean, it's like the Nazca lines. Like I suppose to the gods, they'll see a big cross in the sky. But, like what's inside?
It's a whole bunch of like. Apparently, there's a whole bunch of junk from 100 different countries, including the United States, and we sent like everybody sent some artifacts to put in there, and then we sent like a giant blown up newspaper of 9/11 for some reason.
See,
like, let me see.
These are all your fucking. See, I'm just envisioning the video ideas that you have here. All right, like like when you're like, I went to Santo Domingo and I decided to go to the Pharaoh of Colón, and then you have your whole video on it. Oh
Here is the Pharaoh of Colón. No, like I only heard about it because there was a guy. He wrote it's a good book. It's a good book where he just is talking about like what the history of America was before the Pilgrims showed up, and so it's like centered around a travel log. So he visits all these like historically significant sites, and he was trying to find the body of Columbus, and he learned about like that they claim to own the body of Columbus, but in Spain they also claim to own the body of Columbus, and this. Yeah, this one's the fraud, and they built this giant
The tomb
thing.
of Columbus is one of the most beautiful tombs I've ever seen. It's really well done.
Oh, look at that! That's gorgeous.
No, and it goes beyond this. Like, if you go to the tomb of Columbus, so here's the thing: is on the Spanish flag. The Spanish flag has its crest, which is the Castile and Leon, castle and lion, and then there's a section for Navarra, and then there's a section for Aragon. And so like these four pallbearers each represent the four like kingdoms of Spain. You can see the Leon, Castile, Aragon, and Navarra like on them. It's like really beautifully well done. This is quite bright, but when you're in there, it's very like dark and moody and everything. But it's like it's it's a like in a nationalistic like myth sense. I'm like, oh, fucking bravo, okay, bravo on like what you've done, you know. Unlike, so you can see like this guy here has like the crest of Navarra right here. Here, you know, here is. This is the Aragon, the Castile, and Leon. And then the other thing is you're like, oh man, Columbus was much smaller than I thought. But it's beautiful, beautifully well done. The coloring here like doesn't give it justice because like I mean I have burned in my memory as like a 20-year-old boy like going and seeing this and being like, whoa, this is Christopher Columbus, like and that's
crazy.
burned in me. Like even now I like, it's not like I didn't think back then, wow, this is a bunch of fucking nationalistic stupid bullshit, who cares? But even then I was like, whoa, I'm here like the body of Christopher Columbus, like you know, like it's that kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's really fucking well done. But if you ever make it to Sevilla, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Going to like a Catholic, like when I was in Poland and went to like a Catholic cathedral for the first time was pretty crazy. Just like how big the architecture is. I don't know. I grew up in the South with like those crappy Baptist buildings that are like just like a
there's two things that are quite striking. As like even as an atheist Protestant in America, you're as an atheist, like you still have the Protestant like ideals sucked into your self-conscious. So you like assume that a church should be small and you should assume it should be Spartan and simple. And so the first time you go outside of America and you go to a Catholic cathedral and it's so large and it's filled with so many mannequins that are gushing blood everywhere, it's overwhelming. You're like, whoa, that's crazy, you know, like because it's just not what a Protestant would do, and it's certainly not what an atheist from a Protestant culture would expect. And you know, it's like you go over and in a corner there's 50 old ladies like crying next to an idol of Mary, and you're like, oh, that seems a little weird, but that's just like normal at a Catholic cathedral, you know.
I was in Tucson like a month ago, and there's San Javier de Bac, which is like the only which it was a Spanish mission cathedral built in like the 1600s, and it's like one of the only buildings of like this style that was ever built in the United States, and it was like crazy. I was like, wow, that's insane.
Carmine, how much Catholicism is left in you?
Not that much. Not that much. Enough to where, you know, I still pray to God every now and then if I want something, but not enough.
Your mom go to church?
Yes, and my grandmother. Brazilians, man. Brazilians.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's something that Americans, I don't think Americans truly understand. Like even it's even that distance, like when I read George R.R. Martin stuff, because he was raised Catholic, it's still that distance of like, well, like I'm an atheist from a Protestant background. And so it's like, there's so much difference where I just don't get it. I don't get Catholic guilt. I don't get the lingeringness. Like being an atheist from Protestant culture, you don't sit there and go, well, I'm a lapsed Protestant. Like that's not a thing, but lapsed Catholic is. And everyone understands what a lapsed Catholic is and like all of the lingering cultural things that come from being an ex-Catholic. But no one thinks about it with ex-Protestants, you know? So there just is this weird division that I don't understand of like Catholic life.
I don't understand much of it either, but still instilled in you at a very early age.
Like all of the lore shit, man. The Catholics are great at lore. They've got great world building.
I'll eventually bring my boy Bear on, and he's my pastor friend from Cali, and he knows all about this. He hates Mormons, though. Holy shit, he hates
they're
Mormons.
great at lore building too, right?
Yeah.
You know, when Mormonism first started, they called them the American Muslims.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because they didn't drink alcohol.
They didn't drink alcohol. They had multiple wives. They worshipped a prophet rather than, you know, Jesus. Like there was a lot of like parallels that they saw, you know. And so yeah, it was called like the American Islam at first, you know. Now of course we wouldn't think of that, but like at the time, like they're like, huh, like this like there's this new prophet that has like different ideas, and they get multiple wives and they don't drink alcohol. So
that's crazy. It's crazy me learning about like 1840s, 1850s or something, where Mormons are like at war with the United States and kill like have massacres of U.S. civilians and babies and stuff, and like it's just not brought up. Not very. We moved past it. They're the fun
I
people.
mean, I think of all the things that I understand the appeal of Mormonism only in the sense that like Mormonism has the advantage of it has the land as like the appeal. So like you are living on the American land, and now you can see that American land is holy. Because like Jesus is American in Mormonism, right? And like all of these places that you can go to, and you can do pilgrimages here in America for and have your spiritual awakening. And like the seduction and appeal of an American Jesus and an American faith is because you're there. It's not something abstract over the ocean. It's like right there upon you, and you can become like a zealot to it, because weirdly, like human beings are very attached to the land. So as I say, my brother-in-law is an archaeologist, and when he started digging, his main digging site for his life has been a place called Dibon, which is in Jordan. And Dibon was the capital of the Moabites. In the Bible, there's the Ammonites, the Moabites, and the Edomites. And when he first started digging up these Moabites, like literally no one in Jordan knew what Moab was. Like it was just like this forgotten random people from the Old Testament that are not even like mentioned in the Quran. And then over time, they're like now that they started digging stuff up, they're like, oh no, like they started naming hotels like Hotel Moab. And like you can like start talking to people in the area, and they're like, oh no, I feel like I have Moab blood in me. And you're like, well, you probably have no Moab blood in you, because there's been a lot of movements of peoples, and they're pushing people out and killing each other off. But okay. But the same thing happens with Americans. Like Americans feel the need to believe that they have American Indian blood in them. They have they have the need to feel that they have like an extra connection to the land, that there's
their ancestors lived here and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
That there's something tangible there that connects to them. And so like Mormonism provides that in a religious sense, where all the other religions do not provide that. You know, so I get it in a weird sense, you know, the appeal of Mormonism. How do we end up here? Like fucking.
Yeah, I don't know how we got from doorways to
how do we get from doorways? This is like, it's like, okay,
Well, first
Trey
she bit
gets me
that
to
guy's
watch
nose.
Doorways and drink a fucking bottle of wine, and then we fucking talk about Mormonism at fucking 1 a.m.
Maybe Joseph Smith was one of those faces on Mount Rushmore.
Ah, there you go.
That'd be pretty good.
Figured
That'd
it
be pretty
out.
interesting.
Oh my god. Did he have like...
Did you hear the intro of the narrator saying how the American
Maybe?
Indians discovered...
Fuck, based
Maybe.
on this?
Yeah, let me look back at
Oh,
the
shit.
photo that we...
Oh my
if
god.
it's
It all
Joseph
comes
Smith.
full circle.
In the intro to Doorways, they
Joseph
say
Smith.
how Native Americans on 3 small boats discovered Europe.
Yeah,
I'm
the idea
picturing
of being like Nina Pinta Santa Maria. So 3 ships would be...
Gosh, I can see... I'm looking at the middle one, and I could see that being Joseph Smith.
in the comic book, not necessarily in the show, right?
Let's see.
Because in the show, it's clearly Ben Franklin, Davy Crockett, an American Indian, and then somebody else.
Yeah.
See, the annoying part about Doorways and parallel universe TV shows is you want to learn all about, like, how the fuck did we get to this point where Joseph Smith and potentially Davy Crockett were presidents? But you can't do that in like 1 or 2 episodes, and I don't trust these guys to do it adequately.
Well, if they didn't waste so much time on establishing shots of like old Buicks, like rolling into parking lots.
How many chapters of Doorways are there? Just one?
There's only one.
Really, only one chapter of Doorways. Let me see.
Oh, wait, is there more? Preston, is there like a sequel?
He talked about that if the comic book did well, he said that maybe they would have done more comics based on his backup scripts. I just don't know if that happened. I like during a like the search up into our discussion, I couldn't find anything, but I'm not sure if it was ever made. But in the opening, he does say, like, maybe if this comic does well, they can base stuff off of the like later stuff. Fuck, I think that is Joseph Smith, dude. Right?
Yeah, that middle one looks like Joseph Smith there. Like the hair's different, like he didn't gel up his hair like that, but that does look
oh
like
my god, this is so fucking weird that we're having a random discussion and we like figure out who the other fucking faces are.
Well, there you go, Trey. If you ever meet George R.R. Martin, Haranguin Minds and the faces on Mount Rushmore and Doorways. There you go.
Come on, yeah, he needs to. Maybe I should email him or something.
I would say that
How
this
did
is
they
like
get-
I would say at this point that's 100% that the second face is Joseph Smith.
Yeah, how the mouth's moving, like even like this curl
Yeah.
of the smile. Yeah, that looks like like
the
it looks like they
duckbill hair and
referenced
everything.
that particular painting almost. Who's this fucking little guy though? I don't know who this little
I
guy
don't know.
is.
Joe Pesci.
Joe Pesci.
Dude, no shit. I was just thinking that. I was thinking the same thing earlier. Joe Pesci.
Like I think you're right that the one on the far right is Alexander Hamilton. Or
Yeah, you
one
think
of
it's
the
Alexander
founding
Hamilton?
fathers. I'm looking for like the painting that they reference. Like I kind of recognize that painting with the guy looking up. I don't know which.
It's such a bad move because this is based on George's script, which means that like George in his original script was like, and then there was a Mount Rushmore with Daniel Boone and Joseph Smith, and he like wrote that thinking these are cool ideas, but like didn't think far enough to be like Joseph Smith's face is not famous. Like he's not famous at fucking all. Which I understand why they're like, okay, what faces are famous? Well, Ben Franklin's fucking face is famous. Oh, right. You know, like I get it completely.
Oh, Preston, I got another one for you. They go on top of Mount Rushmore. Mao Zedong is on there.
That would be interesting. That would be a much
and we'd
better.
recognize him. Because Preston, you're 100% right. It's like you need a recognizable face on there. Because yes,
right, and there's not that many recognizable faces.
So what, Hitler? That's
Abraham Lincoln is a really recognizable face, but he's already on Mount Rushmore.
Ben Franklin, that's a good one. Ben Franklin, that's good.
Ben Franklin's a great one. Whoever came up with that was like, good idea. That's a really great face. But it's funny that like Alexander Hamilton is on our fucking $10 bill, and we still are just like, I don't know what he fucking looks like. He looks like any other fucking random ass white dude. Okay, Hitler would be a great one because like he's
Hitler
an
and
obvious
his crew. Goebbels.
Or
the whole thing? Yeah, I'm looking at the $10 bill with Alexander Hamilton on it. The one on the far right is definitely him. It looks like it's referenced specifically from the $10 bill, like that portrait.
Yeah, so it seems to be Joseph Smith and
look up like the $10 bill. It's got the eyes pointing in the right direction and stuff. Like, oh, maybe. I don't know. The hair is a little different.
This doesn't look like Lin-Manuel Miranda. Doesn't seem like he could be rapping.
But like, yeah, you're right that the fact that we even have to debate it is
means you
bad. That's just a failure. You failed.
His eyebrows are weird.
His eyebrows, yeah. Like, I don't know how much of it can just be chalked up to the artist not being great, or maybe that's not
so fucking weird.
Because you got to choose somebody who's not a president,
not American,
a founding father.
So, for doorways, for like a Mount Rushmore, potential doorways, you'd have to choose someone who's not American. So Hitler or Mao, or if you really want to be like crazy, the Queen. I don't know, like the American Revolution.
Queen Elizabeth is pretty recognizable, but there's just not that many. Like I say, like this is Davy Crockett because he had a fucking hat. Like you had to give him the fucking hat.
Of course, without the hat, who is he?
Man, what a
without the hat, who is he? Without George's like little cap, like who is he? He's just a guy. He's not. He's
without his beard. Yeah, without George R. Martin's beard, like that picture you posted of him and graduating from. I didn't even recognize that was him. Like I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Without his beard and without his cap, he's just George Martin. That's it. The beard and the cap give him the extra
that it's
art.
Like faster to me for me to be like.
Here's the video.
The dreams go to the video and then like go.
I think it's too near the front.
It's weird that I'm always like going back to George and his fucking Vietnam thing.
There he is. Yeah, like who the fuck is this chubby little guy here?
Clearly a 23-year-old man.
That is insane. That I'm older than him here. And I'm 2 years older than George R. Martin in here. He looks like he's 40. He looks like he's
he's like Trey. You know,
he has a mortgage.
He's like Morgan Freeman here. Like Morgan Freeman has been old as long as I've been alive, and I'm 33. Like George has always looked like he was just tired and not wanting to write anything.
That is not a 23-year-old man. That is a guy that has a mortgage.
That's a 23-year-old
children.
23-year-old man graduating from grad school. And
what's the one of George with like a beard and he has long hippie hair? Someone said he looked like Kit Harington in that.
Yeah, but then, like in the way that he's got long hair.
What you can do is
because people are like Kit Harington's like because they're like Jon Snow is a self-insert and stuff. It's like no, you haven't read the books. Yeah, there's
the bottom one.
Oh
go
my
back
God.
and go to the bottom one below this one. A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I can kind of see a little bit of Kit.
A little bit.
But the thing
I
is,
don't
like,
know.
you can see what he's neck beard. Like the fact that he's been neck bearding from his mid-20s is like crazy, right? He's been covering up his double chin since he's been in his mid-20s.
That's nuts. It helps. He looks better. He looks better with like now that I've seen a picture of him in grad school without it. He looks better.
Oh yeah, you're like, I understand why you've been neck bearding.
Because yeah, without it, he just got
that's the thing is like, the same thing with like George Lucas. We're like, oh, he looks really weird with his neck beard. It's like, well, you haven't seen him without the neck beard. All right, here's his oh, not Friends, but about George. There's like, he used to have like his life of like when he was young, and he used to have a section on like Lisa Tuttle. He recently changed this. This has been really recently changed.
Oh, he's bitter in his old age.
Like it used to be like he would have his there was an early life section, like very recently. Where he had a whole section on like life with like Lisa Tuttle. It's so weird, man. Oh well. Whatever. I swear, like you go to About George and there was an early life instead of awards and honors. And then there was a Friends section. And look, I click on Lisa Tuttle, nothing.
That's weird. But I don't expect George's website to be updated that much.
No. Like, seriously, this was like yesterday. Because like I was searching for that photo. Like, right, there wouldn't be all this broken links. Maybe biography, Bayonne. Okay, Bayonne. There he is. No need for a neckbeard there. There he is.
Is that him? Oh my gosh. I never would have recognized that as George.
That's him in grad school. Here, this is him high school. This is his high school photo.
Never would have recognized George. That is insane.
You can see, like, I mean, obviously he wears the glasses, but you can see the nose shape here, and and his like his like signature like lip.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is the only part, like you just got to circle around right here. His nose and lip is the only thing that's recognizable, because it's like glasses now and like beard below and like hat.
Yeah.
So there's nothing that else is like recognizable about him except for like nose and lip. And then
I guess she breaks it down by like city he was living in.
Dubuque. No, there used to be a whole section on like hanging out with Lisa Tuttle and his relationship with Lisa Tuttle. This is his ex-wife, Gail. And then
fandom. Oh, this is him going to those crazy conventions. Everybody's getting laid.
He's getting laid. This is some with Gail.
Oh.
So weird, man. I swear, this has changed very recently.
Oh, look at these cute little photos.
These ladies.
All these ladies. I know that Top Hat one. That's when he was releasing Fever Dream. That's like his little party where they get him in a little Fever Dream Cake.
He labeled this Babes 4. Okay. Can I zoom in on this?
What is going on in this photo with George, man?
I don't know, but he named this like, what is this? Open a new
Is
image
this
tab.
Babes 3?
This is Archon 2.
Okay. These are the ladies. Is that Lisa Tuttle or?
That looks like Lisa Tuttle there. Babes 9.
Babes 9.
He named these
George,
things.
what the fuck?
He named these 9s. What's this one?
We need to publish this. We need to cancel George
Babes
over
6.
Babes 6.
This is so funny.
What? Who are all these women he's hanging out with? What?
I don't know. It's very funny because like when he talks about women, he'll talk about like, oh, like the first time he met his wife, he met Paris. He'd be like, oh, first time I met her, she was a stone cold fox. And it's like, I've seen pictures of her and it's like, I don't know if I'd say stone cold fox. Like, you know, but you know, if you're George, I think like all of this is like they're all babes, man. They're all fucking babes. But these are babes, man.
These are babes.
These are absolute fucking stone cold fox babes. Okay? Look at, you know.
Oh my gosh, it's funny. It's funny realizing that I'm conventionally attractive, you know, like that this isn't my life. I'm like, hey, look at these hot, sexy babes. And I treasure these photos. These photos have been traveling since 1970 something to now, and he preserved them and then titled them and then posted them on here as Babes 9. Like these are fond memories.
First of all, these were like physical, so he scanned these.
Scanned them. Sorry, he scanned them.
Scanned them, labeled them babes, and then uploaded them. Oh my god! Can't believe we're wasting time at fucking 1 a.m. Like
I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's
I think it's really funny. Because this is the deep stuff that no other fans care to look at. Nobody else has looked at this. At the names of the PNG files, the JPEG files he puts on his website. Yeah, what is this? Paris at 25.
Paris. So this is before he met Paris, I think. He said, "Crazy hippie reaches quarter century. Read the invitation on her 25th birthday. I wasn't invited. To be fair, I did not know Paris when she was 25." But he loved the picture. So this is Paris at 25. And then he meets Paris in 1975. He meets Paris prior to his marriage to Gail. And he reconnects with Paris after he divorces Gail. But when he's talking about like Stone Cold Fox, okay, that's what I'm. Is it this one? I forget which one, but he's seriously like Stone Cold Fox with Paris, like this, you know. Just saying, like
that's I think like I don't mean to be mean, but it's like Lisa Tully in the show, I'd say is more of a stone cold fox than this one.
Yeah. Kate Dickie? Oh, Kate man. Dickie. Fucking Kate Dickie. Carmine, how do you feel about Kate Dickie?
I think she's okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Stone Cold Fox?
I'd say Stone Cold Fox, Kate Dickie. Oh yeah, look at Kate Dickie in this photo here. Oh man.
You know, so this is
Babes 9.
This is 84. So he's already divorced. He's been divorced from Gail for about 3 or 4 years at this point. So
hey, they bring up monkey treatment. Hey.
A nominee for a novel at the Monkey treatment. Lost to Greg Bear's Blood Music. Yeah. So there it is. Oh man. God.
Yeah.
Next publication. Oh, I can't click on that. Oh,
it's Stop Voyaging. Oh, it's
Windhaven graphic novel. Fire and Blood, HBO tie-in re-release. Joker Moon, Full House, Rise of the Dragon. What was Rise of the Dragon?
What was Rise of the Dragon? Is that just
Rise of the Dragon is Fire and Blood, but the illustrated version, like more illustrations with different authors.
And then a Tough Voyaging graphic novel.
Where's that Tyrion Lannister the wit and wisdom of Tyrion Lannister? Why is that on here?
Dude, I made a video on that fucking years and years ago. What a waste of money. It's a coffee table book. What a waste of fucking money.
What's in it? It's just pictures of Tyrion and quotes?
It's just quotes, Tyrion's quotes. That's basically it.
What I'm reading. Yeah, let's see what George is reading these days.
Every page is like one quote.
2013.
What's George watching right now? Because I don't know any books.
It was last updated 12 years ago. Okay. What is he watching?
What's George watching?
It was last updated 2006. 19 years ago. Battlestar Galactica, and then various. This is funny. Rome.
HBO Rome. That's funny. It's funny. Before he was even. It was like HBO Rome's a precursor to Game of Thrones, basically.
When's the winter sample from 2016?
Oh, it's already on.
Yeah, 9 years. So. All right, gentlemen. Yes. We've been doing this for 3.5 hours. So I drank a fucking bottle of wine. You saw me fucking drink a whole fucking bottle of wine.
Are you gonna cut this entire recording up and are you gonna upload?
I think I should. Who's gonna fucking watch a fucking 3.5? This is like a stream.
Unless you just upload it as a stream.
Cut it up. Have us exploring George's blog. Page 9.
We didn't do it enough though. I want to be. We have to go back to this sometime. Oh God.
Yeah.
How did we end up on this? Oh God.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. Doorways. Checking out what he's reading 19 years ago.
Oh my God. What were you watching 19 years ago? Oh fuck.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what no wins does to a motherfucker right here.
Yeah,
broken our brains.
No wins.
Broken our brains.
All right, gentlemen. Thank you for being with me. Here we are. Fucking. This is what Doorways does to people.
This is what Doorways does.
Makes me question my existence. Where are we in this world? Should Joseph Smith been on Mount Rushmore? I don't know. Who are the other faces? I don't know who the other faces are. No one does. No one knows who the other faces are.
We've been talking for 2 hours, and since I posted that question, who are the other faces, and nobody's able to guess the other faces. There's nothing besides joke ones.
It's ridiculous. Fucking almost destroyed a Game of Thrones. Had a sacrifice of fire. Fucking Kat and Thomas. Their fucking incredible adventures. Oh my God.
With Thane.
Maybe in an alternate universe, we would have had YouTube channels based on fucking Doorways.
Doorways. And that people would be complaining that Doorways was never finished.
How did you not finish Doorways season 25? Don't you know this is your legacy? This is your magnum opus, and you didn't fucking continue on with Thomas and Kat. All right, guys, before it gets more embarrassing.
Yeah.
Let's end it here. Thank you, guys. I will see you guys next time. Thanks a bunch.